So this is a little slime, which he's so cute.
I'm so happy you know the name.
I actually don't know. This is insane. Okay,
I'm so hyped and focused on this thing.
It's hard to concentrate.
And the thing is, when you're being bullied, you do feel as a child, why are the adults in the world letting me down? Why are they letting this happen? When I started fighting back, it changed my life forever.
I'm actually enjoying a little bit of wine while we do this.
Look at this. It's kind of, I don't know what this was from.
I had a great freaking time. I chose a Lego set that's like, don't do the flowers, guys. Don't do the flowers.
I did berate them for a long time about coming on Lego, so when David asked, I had to say yes.
Yeah, fuck, how do I pitch my channel? I cover a lot of the current drama and stuff that's going on, but predominantly I'm somebody who's kicked around the internet for quite a long time.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the top of my table is black here, and I loaded all these black Legos onto it, so it's outstanding.
So I do bonsai. I collect bonsai trees. These trees aren't it. they're wrong. These trees they have bad form.
I actually dyed my hair jet black at one point. I have white eyebrows and white eyelashes.
She just continues to make poor decisions. Wendy does.
Wow. So you're stuck with Timu Wendy.
Timu Wendy. Yeah, there we go.
That's how you get invited back. You just do it really slow.
That looks really cool.
That's awesome.
It's so random.
But it's not the size of the tower. It's how well you use it.
Really good set.
We're gonna be here till 2 a.m.
Outstanding.
You're so past my bedtime. Steve, what are you looking at? You are really intently looking at it.
Well, I dropped the piece and I can't find it.
Having the problem with this one here.
Just tell me what to do.
You're telling me that
Zero numbers. There's no numbers.
I'm not sure how you read.
No numbers.
I'm so scared I'm gonna break it now that I've done this. I've gone this far.
Yeah.
Okay. No big deal. No big deal.
Right.
My kids are going to build this before I'm done with mine tonight. So
yeah.
That one.
Most definitely.
Half the stud short.
How does that happen? That car was a pain in the ass.
Chat, we found Chloe. She's been located. I mean, this is like the last piece of the puzzle in there. We put Chloe in there, and we are pretty much good to go, folks.
You can actually use Clyde to help build sandwiches. That's awesome. Yeah,
I love sandwiches.
Oh, it's not children friendly, even though we're playing with Lego.
Yeah,
You're fine.
I'm not worried about the children. I'm worried about your YouTube channel. It's not good.
Nice, you got it done. He refused, by the way. Look at that.
Yay! Yay!
Oh, look at, and then the capsule at the end.
That is very solid.
Yeah, that's why I got it.
It's like the instructions to transform him is longer than the instructions to build him.
Oh no, it's breaking all over. We're not going to do the transformation, okay? We're just not going to.
40 prior guests have all built Lego, and this is the first cheater.
I have been building it. It's just that when I just turned the camera off just now, my daughter came in and she's like, "That's crap, Mum. Stole it off me."
Bring a ringer in to build for you.
She just stole it.
You brought in a ringer to the Lego stream.
I had a tub. I don't even know how many minifigs there were, but I had a tub about this big that they weren't even on the spreadsheet because I hadn't gotten around to inventorying them yet.
Well, hey, if Flash can have a half-hour intro, so can we, by God.
Yeah.
So can we, by God. So can we.
Yeah.
Listen,
Right.
y'all, we hear you. We hear you in the comments. We hear the love for the song, so we've added to it, y'all. I hope you appreciate it.
I'm actually surprised at how smooth that was with it was being pulled back in. I thought it was going to be.
I practiced. I will say I spent like 10 minutes practicing it. To make that work. The song's so long we can't fit it in the StreamYard, folks. We had to jury rig that. But I hope you all like it.
We had to make it work. We had to make it work.
And welcome to
everybody.
the stream. Sheldon, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here, man.
That's good. You're not in jail, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Huge plus.
So, so you were you in both part 1 and part 2 of Reckless Spins videos, or just part 2?
No, I'm in part 1. I actually did help with Victor's World. I helped write that. I helped write a couple things in that. So I'm definitely in part 1. My part's just, if you remember, there was a guy who went and delivered a package and got Amanda to sign. That was me.
I thought that was you. And then you're also like the fan of the fake YouTuber in the store, right?
Yeah, that's Victor's World. Like I said, I helped write that bit, actually. I love that bit. It's so funny. But yeah, so I went up, and I didn't have spy glasses on, but I had the employee show me Star Wars Lego sets, and she's like, this is really rare. And I go, huh, where do you guys get these? And she's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It was definitely Brian.
Here when we showed up, right?
Yeah, she was just like, I don't know. That's, I'm like, huh, how do you guys think you get these if they're so rare? You know what I mean? But I didn't have any spy glasses on, so it kind of sucks. But that's why after that, while we're doing the cult, she goes, I go, yeah, I know you guys do. You showed me one of them, because she did. She literally, before Victor's World, when I went dapped him up, he said, I said that, yeah. So it was pretty interesting. They definitely had Brian's Legos in there still, and we're definitely selling them.
All right, so I have a question about the production. When you
Can I take a second real quick before we jump too heavy into it? Welcome Beckett to the show as well, sitting over there in his chair, watching briefly in the corner.
It's like the third time I've been on, I think.
Yeah. Becoming a regular. Beckett had to get in on this one. He's been covering the Lego as well. The brick and minifig, I should say, not the Lego.
He's like, if you guys get Sheldon, I'm coming on.
So I'm just a drama streamer, and we, like lots of us, have been covering this over in commentary. Obviously, it's a pretty interesting story. It's taken up a lot of space. I mean, I've definitely got some questions. I think partly along the lines of just like what was happening behind the scenes, but also there's lots of, in the way this is being presented, it's obviously told in a pretty in an entertaining way. Yeah. And that's led to lots of interesting questions about timelining, kind of what actually happened, like who knew what at when. So I think it's helpful if we can clarify some of those things as well, because I think when you see at least any of the pushback, it's been over stuff that Ben said that may not quite line up with, what we find out later, or it's stuff like the defaulting on the judgments, or the stuff around like the different lawsuits and things. So hopefully like that, I think that could be like really useful to hear from somebody more on the inside rather than us speculating as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really what happened. We filed for default judgment, and then the store was closed. So they found a way to get it dismissed, which we didn't know. We really didn't know that. Ben was not lying. I promise you, dude. Ben is many things, but he's not a liar, and he's also not even the type of person who would do something wrong or lie to his audience like that. It was just a genuine mistake. And the thing is, if they hadn't closed down that store, we would have just filed the right way. So it's like, we bought those Legos off Brian, so they were ours. So we weren't in the right to sue, and Ben was right. The problem is there are two things with the lawsuit. They hide behind all these weird LLCs, and it was almost impossible to find the right LLC to sue. Also, they said the girl we signed up for the cult, it says in my paperwork at least, that she was not able to accept service on behalf of them. So we should have just sued Brian or not Brian, it's my bad, Josh and Brandon. And that's what we're doing now. I'm suing Brandon and he's suing Josh, and we're going to win.
So there's still lawsuits going on?
Yeah, I'm still suing Brandon Best, correct, for my 10 grand. I've got a video on it. I said the cure to world hunger is my new business, which is suing them perpetually till the end of time. We're going to give all that money to the starving kids in Africa, on Josh and Brandon's dime. And that is, the goal. And, we will just perpetually sue them forever. We'll never stop, because at the end of the day, I've now seen more overwhelming evidence than I even had in my interview that these guys just have been doing this to other people. This is their whole entire business is built off the backbone of stealing from people. And, this has nothing to do with it, but I did realize, I don't know if you guys have seen this, Dan McNeff Amon and his whatever his brother's name is, the CEO, COO, Matt, and Dan. It's right when their dad reached the age of old, they decided to steal the business from him because now he's elderly.
Yeah.
Right. So once he became elderly, they decided to steal the business from him, which falls in line with their whole MO. Once you're old, they're going to steal whatever they can from you.
Steal from old people. That's what they do.
Exactly. I mean, that is the way to make it in life. If you steal from the elderly, you've got a free pass to just make as much money as you want. It's like a money printer.
Yeah, they can't fight back.
Exactly. And that is what they did to their dad. It's what they did to Brian's dad. It's all they've ever done.
Well, let me ask you this. Before you got involved, were you aware of the connection to
Legally Mine?
Legally Mine and some of those other companies? Were you at all aware of that stuff?
No. When we went into interview, they told us, this is like part of what I guess part 3 will be about. They told us they were sending out a guy, and then Amon came out. We had no idea that was the CEO. And Ben goes, and this obviously didn't make it into the part 2 when we go in there, but he's like, no, you got me. You're not getting that guy. So we assumed we got someone under the guy they said they were going to send out. And in fact, we found out later on that was the CEO, and I was blown away. I'm like, this is the CEO? I'm like, what a joke.
So he didn't identify it when the mustachioed man came out. He did not identify himself as the CEO?
No, not at all. We had no idea until later on. It was a long time later. And Ben's like, by the way, that was the CEO. And I'm like, no way that was the CEO of a company. And it was. That's Amon McNuff. He's the CEO. It was crazy. I'm like, that's who they sent out. And it's like, he also lies. He just point blank lies and says he doesn't know who Brian is. And I just, on my last video, besides like a little like behind the scenes scene I just posted that was really funny. They said they sent in. So Amon was well aware who Brian Mansell was. He's just he just lies. It's all he does. I've never seen that guy tell the truth about anything in this whole thing once. Anyone in Bricks and Minifigs has never told us a single truth about anything.
Going to Beckett's question, I guess a little bit, or some of the questions he has. What when you were there meeting with the CEO, who you didn't know was CEO at the time, what was the date of that meeting? Because I know that some of the timestamps in the video are a bit off.
Okay, I need to explain this to the audience. We use really crappy Ben. To this point, there was points in Reckless Ben's YouTube career. He's been sleeping in a car eating like tuna sandwiches, and you can go watch this. If you go back to the Scientology series, he was getting 100 views and living in his car. He moved out of Ohio to go to LA to become a YouTuber. And Ben is like the most positive guy I've ever met. So
he seems like it.
He is. It doesn't matter what happens. He just has the most optimistic outlook I've ever seen. And what we do is we have these crappy spy glasses, and also like we don't use like Meta Ray-Bans, but they're so head ass and obvious. It's so obvious when you're using Meta Ray-Bans. So we just use cheap Chinese equipment, and they're not synced to what time it is. So that's, confuses the audience. That has nothing to do. Those timestamps are just completely wrong every time. And it does confuse everyone, but it's just what the spy glasses do. And I don't know if there's a way to set them to the right time. I don't really think it's relevant, I guess. You know what I mean? It's just how they record.
Well, I just fired up my GoPro for like the 12th time in the last year and a half. And every time it has the wrong date, the wrong time, and it's a disaster. So I have to crop all of my videos. So I get that. It's a pain in the ass. But what date were you actually there?
I would say it would have been December of last year. Without a doubt. It would have been December of last year. Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about that before the stream. Ask David Info says Valhalla and Sheldon have both escaped from Illinois.
I'm still stuck in Rockford. Let's
oh, you are?
Oh, yeah. I'm still here, man.
Okay.
I wish.
We got to get you out of that place, man.
I wish.
Yeah, let's get him out. Come on, people. Let's get him out. Get him out.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, did we? My bad. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask, because I watched one of your videos where you were talking about a bit of your history, and you said that Ben was sort of living out of his car at one point, which is interesting to hear, because it's very hard to pin what sort of a person Ben is from his videos. I actually first saw him doing the McKinney Manor stuff.
Yeah.
So I was, because that was actually a really interesting story, and it's there's a lot of similarities, I guess. You yourself have said that you've had a bit of an interesting history, shall we say, and like you're now sort of want to be a YouTuber and push this kind of stuff. How did you actually get involved with Ben, and how long have you kind of worked with him?
Yeah, no. So I quit my job. I worked at Frito-Lay. It's like terrible. They treat people like you're just basically a number. No, not even basically. Frito-Lay treats people.
That's not true. I've seen the movie.
Yeah, that movie's a lie. Yeah. No, they I mean, I could go into a lot of stories about how bad I got treated there. I mean, the money was good, you know, but it's like the money was good because I worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. You know what I mean? So it was just unbelievably rough on your body. And I just got so sick of it. It was just rough. And then I quit and I bought this computer I'm streaming off, and I'm like, I'm going to do YouTube everywhere I go. Everyone says I should be a comedian for my whole life. And I'm like, I'm going to just do it. And then I ended up I'm in way over my head. You know, I had paid my bills ahead, but it was like I had no money coming in. So I was flat broke. I had like probably like $1,500. And I hit up Ben on his Patreon. He has a paid option to do a paid collab. And this is after I'd hit up every single like comedian or YouTuber I felt like I could have made a video with. Because like I had never even held a camera at this point. You know what I mean? I was in way over my head, and I should have kept working the job even though I hated it, and just sectioned it out and then got better at content. But I just was just at my wit's end with getting treated like garbage. And I ended up hitting him up. He had a $1,000 paid option, and he said, you know, I don't even want the $1,000. I'll fly you out to Oregon. We'll do this video and stuff. So that's how we ended up working together.
And was that video that you worked on? Was it this particular story?
Yeah, it's Lego Part 1. Yeah, that was in Oregon, in Salem, Oregon.
Okay.
So you got your money's worth for sure, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Well, he didn't even take the money. Ben said he didn't want the money and stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
I love that.
I
Zeki
took Wendy's money.
David takes my money every month. You know,
That's how Wendy ended up on the show, is that she bought the high tier membership, which gave you like, you know, an option to like help produce a video kind of thing. And then so she bought it, and then I was like, oh, what do you want to do? So she started off
I'm
interviewing
gonna do the Kardashians. He goes, I'm not doing the Kardashians. What the crap?
Yeah, but that's how Wendy got involved here.
Nice.
I happily took her money.
So you can buy your way into YouTube, folks. There's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
Apparently so. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, you've kind of landed yourself in what I mean, maybe the biggest story of the year.
He really did.
So I mean, it's kind of an interesting position to be in.
No, it is. Yeah, sure.
You know.
I knew this was going to happen because it was funny when we brought that chick, that girl from the store into the cult. She was like, "Oh, I love TikTok stuff and streaming." And I remember I whispered in Victor's ear, and I'm like, "She doesn't understand this is a Reckless Ben video." I had watched every one of Ben's videos, so I knew how much we were probably going to get that store shut down because it's Reckless Ben. And she just thought it was going to be like some cute little streamer TikTok thing. So I knew it was going to be, I didn't necessarily think this big. But I knew because Ben's only thing holding him back is that he goes after very adult content, which YouTube doesn't like. And this is Legos, so it's just more family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I even asked him, I'm like, I knew it was his funniest video. I mean, there were points in the Airbnb and then the motel, like I was cracking up. I was laughing. So I've never laughed that hard. It's just infinite wit is what Ben does. It's just the wittiest, most intelligent person I've ever met.
Speaking of the employee that you brought back to the woods and made a member of a cult, was the woods actually decorated the way it was on the video when you brought her back? And was it like to the middle of the woods?
Yeah, we brought a chick. There was a point where I look at Victor and I go, "Are we really bringing a chick to the woods right now?"
She's lucky she didn't get murdered.
No, and I said, "She's really lucky. This is us." I'm like, if this is like, I don't want like people to get any ideas off it. And it's just like, you know, we really just sold it. You know, me walking up and dapping him up. I mean, I really feel like they felt like he was a famous YouTuber. Because I was in the middle of a conversation with her and I stop mid-sentence and just go, "Yo," when I walk over and act like I just met my favorite YouTuber and stuff. But then, you know, in the unextended cut, which is on YouTube, I just awkwardly turn away. And it's honestly because I felt I felt gay dapping up a toy YouTuber. You know what I mean? I'm a full-grown man, and I felt it was so awkward. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I can't do it anymore.
It calls into question though. There's some YouTubers out, man on the street kind of YouTubers, and every once in a while they'll have like a fan walk up to them and they'll do some like handshake or have some saying or something like that. And now I am questioning every single one of those videos that I've seen.
Oh, they're mostly they're all staged, man.
Yeah,
they're all staged.
People don't go in the woods with strangers. Please don't.
Please
I just like the way that Valhalla said that, like he's telling Dave that Santa Claus doesn't exist. It's all staged, man. It's not.
Why would you say such a terrible lie on my show, Beckett?
No, the
It's
funniest
all
thing,
sued for defamation.
the funniest thing when the doll was spread out, there's two Bens in the video. When we did Ben swap, Jammin' Ben.
Oh yeah,
stepped on the doll and he said, "You're stepping on our God," which I think was probably the funniest thing that got said in the whole video, but it didn't get recorded right. Because she was stepping on that Lego doll. You know what I mean? We had disemboweled in the middle while we did brick by brick. That was super funny.
I would not have gone to the woods if I if I was in her shoes. Like if I pulled into the parking lot, it'd be like, no, I'm not going into the woods.
Yeah.
And then if I was dumb enough to like, all right, I'm gonna at least go into the woods, and then I saw like the destroyed doll and everything, I would have been immediately out.
Yeah, no, it's kind of the point you run, isn't it?
I was
Like, you're like,
wearing-
oh
Yeah.
shit.
It sucked because it really didn't make it in the cut. You know what I mean? Because that part's cut down so much. She was having me step on Legos. You know what I mean? I don't know if you got. I'm the one.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I stepped on Legos because I always hear memes that stepping on Legos hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna stomp. It didn't even really hurt, so I just stomped on them as hard as I could. And she just, I kept losing every challenge, but I'm wearing this mask that I can see like 1% out of. So I got tackled. She tried getting me to jump in the water. I was like, is this just,
Oh,
am I
this
just
is when
being
you gave her
tortured
power?
right now? Yeah, she tried getting me to dive into the lake that was nearby.
Maybe you
and
guys
it
should have been
sucked.
worried about her. She was.
Yeah, you got a full face covering. Go jump in the water. It's
Yeah,
not gonna
I
feel
saw-
at all like waterboarding.
It sucked. Luckily, no trespassing
Well, that
sign.
was
saved
him.
me.
That was him.
So, typically we've introduced what we're building by now. I think.
Thank you,
Maybe-
Valhalla.
Maybe it's time for that.
Thank you.
Maybe it's time for
Please,
that.
chat
just-
has been demanding.
I'm worried Amon is going to break in my door, bro. He's going to be fiending.
Ooh,
There we go.
Jonesing right now, dude. He sees a Lego Star Wars set. He's on the
He's
way.
waiting to rip you off, man.
Yeah, he's fiending.
I'm almost finished with that set in the house. That's a awesome set.
Well, what are you building, David?
I am building. What is it called? Is this the
Star Wars.
Starfighter.
No, it's the Executor. There we go. I just needed the name of the starship. So I'm building the Executor.
Kill.
And I am this far so far. What? There we go. There's the camera.
Oh, it's got
Come on.
color. Or that's just the
That's
inside.
on the inside, yeah.
What are you building, Valhalla? A
I
weight?
grabbed these today, and I thought they looked pretty cool. A couple little water lilies. Yeah,
Oh, with the dancing water around it.
yeah. I thought it looked pretty all right.
Those would be beautiful. What are you building, Becca?
So I
In the
got, like-
dark.
I got like a box. I have like I have a ton of boxes of Lego at the moment, and I'm doing like custom builds now.
Oh,
Nice. We've had a few of those.
So like I've got this back here, which is like a whole building thing, which is all like completely custom.
Oh, you know what? You do need to show that because you built that off of our show. You built that after the last time you were on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me.
Oh,
As he
don't-
drops it.
David,
You're
why
right.
did you tell him to do that?
So that's
Oh,
what.
wow. Oh my
that's what I
gosh.
put together.
Holy
Yeah, that's
Man,
a
you nailed it.
like a one-off.
So it's
build.
like 2-storied. Like it's got like a garage inside. It's got like a mech in it. I got really bored. I
dig
spent
it.
way too much time doing this. It's got like
love
windows
that.
on the back and things, and I still need to do like the garden, which I might start putting bits into. But yeah, like,
Oh,
I did like the whole
very
thing.
So you got to build the garden today, then.
Are you going to build the
I've
garden?
got a load of plant parts, so maybe actually. I've basically just got a box of bits at the moment, so I need to start like looking through and working out what the hell I'm going to do with it. That's what I'm doing. So I'm being a bit less less structured than everyone else. I've just got got a huge box
He's
of bits.
becketing in it. Becketing it.
I think I screwed up something. I gotta tear this whole
And
thing.
Sheldon, oh, you already showed us. Never mind.
He did. He went first this time.
My bad.
That's
Yeah, Sheldon's
okay.
got an awesome build.
We had a super chat for somebody from Zeke Build Slow for $5. Thank you. 3 things. 1, Beckett, your hair system looks very lush today. Agreed. 2, bring back Bionicle, and 3, brick by brick.
Brick by brick, dude.
Brick. I love that.
Yeah.
You guys were watching our show and you came up with that, right? Because that's in our intro.
Yeah. Did you know that's in our intro, Sheldon?
No, that's sick. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Expect a lawsuit to arrive tomorrow. For
Yeah, I'm waiting. My YouTube picture. My picture on YouTube.
Can we?
My picture is me in the lawsuit that I zoomed in on.
Nice.
I was wondering what that was. That's our thumbnail, right?
No, my picture is me delivering. That's just a picture of me. No, my profile picture on YouTube, I took a screenshot of the lawsuit of me in it and then zoomed in on it and then put it as my YouTube picture. So I think it's kind of funny because I don't know how I'm not named. I mean, it's only Victor, Brian, and Ben so far, but I'm definitely next and stuff. I think, I don't know.
You are named, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, have you missed yourself being named in a lawsuit?
Well, there's 15 John Doe.
I say that. Let me
little
pull it up
busy.
just to make sure. Hang on.
Yeah, David, don't
There's 15 John Does, and then it's Victor, Brian, and Ben and stuff. And then I'm like the most prominent John Doe.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Sheldon,
You mentioned wait, hang on.
Sheldon Newborough says, how many what is my life moments have you had since this week?
Shout out Naburo. She's like super cool. A lot. There was times at work I'm like, what am I even doing, dude? You know what I mean? I'm like, this sucks. But it's like really cool at the end of the day. But yeah, it's pretty nuts and stuff. There's been a lot, probably 3 times a day at least.
3 times a day people are recognizing you?
No, 3 times a day. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Are people recognizing you is my question.
It has happened, not as much. There was a guy who didn't speak English at the airport when I was on the way back from Florida. And then he just kept looking at me and saying my name. I didn't really know how to respond because he didn't speak any other English. And then a guy at a bar did. But other than that, no one's ever came up to me and noticed me or anything.
That's awesome. The guy can't speak any English but can say your name.
Yeah, it was so awkward. I was just like, I didn't know how to respond to him, to be honest.
That's got to be wild, actually.
It was.
This story has gone and reached so parts of the world that are so, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's wild to me that people in foreign languages are knowing about this and know who you are. And that's
it was weird.
So what's actually happening now? Because like Ben's locked down, you're off doing other videos as well while you're still like doing the lawsuits and working on bits and pieces to do with this. But like part 3 is done, but we may never see it. Is that kind of where we are?
Ben just made an update that part 3 will be possibly released the 30th. From what I've seen, there's just overwhelming evidence that Bricks and Minifigs is completely guilty. So I'm not that worried about it at the end of the day. I think they're just trying to waste money because they have more money than we do. So I think they're just trying to waste everyone's time and money with frivolous lawsuits. But I think given, Amon and his brother's history, that's kind of their whole shit is like, well, we do bad stuff, but we know how to use the legal system to our advantage. But they vastly underestimated. It's like I said, everyone thought Ben was some TikToker. And it's like, this is reckless Ben. This is like a biblical force. You know what I mean? You're screwed. If Ben's after you, you might as well just give up. I mean,
I think it's fair to say that BAM corporate and others in company did not anticipate the level in which this
they
was going to blow up.
underestimated. But that's the best position to be in, the underestimated position.
Yeah, well, everyone thinks Ben's this dumbass skater dude and stuff, and it's like that's how he comes across. Like I would underestimate him probably if I met him too, but it's like having seen his brain work, it's like he's just unbelievably smart. So it's like you're gonna lose. He's just way smarter than you. Just like you just give up.
I messed up something.
So
it certainly
Sheldon,
comes with the receipts.
right? People were asking earlier too, does Sheldon know that the famous comedian Josh Johnson is streaming a set about the Lego story at this very moment? And will you watch
I don't
it?
know how famous of a comedian he is.
Yeah,
He's
I don't know who
super
that is.
famous. Oh my God.
Is he?
He's the guy, he comes out on set and he always wears a zip up hoodie with a plain gray zip up hoodie, denim jeans. It's his shtick. And he's funny AF. He's really
Is he?
Nice.
Yeah.
But his name is Joshua Johnson, and he said that Lego
Yeah.
ruined his career. So
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. Yeah, that's gotta suck.
Right?
That's like a
And he's
cursed
like a
name now.
kid. Like he's not has nothing to do with these people at all. He's
Yeah,
the
that makes
opposite.
sense. No, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's gotta suck having that name. That name's gonna be cursed for the end of time. I tried, I don't know if you guys knew who John Breaks Bad News is. I tried breaking bad news with John to Josh. I don't think he ever called, but I was telling him he's going to be known as a liar for the entire history of our human race. That will be the legacy he leaves behind on this earth. But I don't think he ever called him but I think the bad news delivered itself. You know what I mean? I think Josh has gotten the news regardless.
I think that's safe to assume at this point.
Yeah.
Well, the most interesting, fascinating thing about this, because you can see companies that do, that make PR slips, right? We most recently, I think you saw it with like Bud Light or whatever, but they don't double down and they don't come out and say the things that they were saying in the way that they were saying them, both in Reckless Ben's video and then after it, sort of blew up. And the whole time I kept thinking, I'm like, what are these people doing? None of this makes sense. This is not how a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company responds to a situation. None of this made sense. And then all of the background came out about these guys, about Legally Mine, their dad's company, kind of, and their whole idea about, we take steps to shield yourself from all these liabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And the shenanigans going on with that case. And now all of a sudden it just kind of makes sense. Even the way Joshua Johnson, not the comedian, was acting all makes sense when you tie it into this sort of like, I don't want to call it a scam, but it's not really a legitimate organization. It's a scheme.
They're scam artists. That's why. It's because they thought, once again, we were some dumb TikTokers, and it's like, no, this is a Reckless Ben investigation. Like, you guys are just completely screwed unless you just do the right thing. But I don't think there is a right thing for them to do. I guess what I mean by that is like they're just like, we can just threaten litigation. It's what they did at the beginning of this. They just threaten everybody, and they're used to everyone backing off.
I'll start this and pull that up in a minute.
But yeah, I agree. That is not how a normal CEO would have handled that. A normal CEO wouldn't have came out and talked the way he did and lied. You know what I mean? They definitely wouldn't have lied, and they would have said,
a normal CEO would have said, what is the name? What is the store? I will look into this and get back to you. Right. I mean, that's what I would expect. First of all, I wouldn't expect a CEO to come out into the hallway and address you. But if they happen to, that's what I would have expected them to say, because that's a smart thing to say.
And that was our second time going in, and you'll see,
Wait, I'm sorry, that was your second time?
Yeah. The first time we went in, they told us, we need to talk to the individual franchise. That part's now blocked out. It's this guy with long hair, and he's like, you'll hear me say for sure in the background. Ben goes, so what do we say to the individual franchise when they tell us to go to corporate? And he's like, their decisions are their decisions. We're just office workers. We don't have anything to do with this. And he was crazy hostile. And then we left, and then we came back, and that's when we got him on. So it's not even just
the same day. By the way, was that the same day you came back?
No, it was like the next day or something like that.
Okay.
So we went back. Yeah. So those are 2 different days. And then we got them on, and they said they were sent. Like I said, they were sending out someone else. And at the beginning of that, Ben's like, "Oh, I thought we were getting, like, let's say his name was Nick. I don't remember like names like that." And then he's like, "No, you got me," and that's why we assumed we got someone under who they were going to send out. And then it was the CEO. We found out later, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very weird thing we stumbled upon. And you know, there's other owners coming forward saying Josh and Brandon did the same thing to them. And they're just what Ben hit them with was what they were doing. It's like,
well, from a business standpoint, there's minimal risk and all the benefit, right? So you sell a franchise and the franchise owner assumes all of the liability. And then the franchise corporate gets to reap all the fees and then has a lien over everything. And if the business is failing and you can't make your payments, then they just swoop in, take all the assets back, and we call it good. And meanwhile, you know, the franchisee is out their, you know, life savings or go into debt or bankruptcy or whatever it may be. And corporate is just sitting there saying, well, we got our inventory back and we got the fees we got, and now let's move on. It's a good business model if you don't mind the ickiness of it.
well, but then they take it to the next level and they decide, what if we can just steal everything on top of all the fees and then make pure profit? You know what I mean? That's Bricks and Minifigures business model.
So this is one of the things that I've sort of been thinking about, like, because the question I've asked is why act this way? Like, surely, even if you're corrupt or incompetent, you must look at a situation like this and go, listen, we can just pay $100,000 at one point and make it go away. Never have to hear about it again, especially when it starts to bleed over into the Lego community. And then you start getting all this stuff at the stores, and there's so many stopping points that they just don't act on. My wonder is whether there is more going on in this company than we're seeing just with this one store. And it's interesting that other owners have come forward and say they experience the same things. I mean, in your opinion, as somebody who's been a bit closer, I'm wondering whether you think that they've got like other worries where it's like, we'd rather throw $1 million at a lawsuit and try and shut everyone up than potentially admit any kind of culpability that might lead to some sort of external audit.
No, I mean, I think they think, I don't know. I don't know what they think. I mean, you know, you've seen, you know, Patreon stood up for Ben. It's just, I think they are so used to bullying the little guy that they thought this would somehow work. And you've seen their press release. They said this will blow over in 7 to 10 days, you know, and it's like, it's not, you know, you guys got caught. That's why. It's not like there's a debatable if they were even in the right, even 1%.
To be fair, they said the press release would blow over if there was no more fuel added, and then they kicked over the gas can themselves onto the fire. You know, that's really what they did. Have you actually? So I wanted to pull this chat back up. I had it started for a minute. Have you watched BJC at all?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay. So she's done a deep dive into this company's background quite a bit, and these people's background. And I guess, you guys didn't know about any of this stuff at the time, right?
No, we didn't. All we had done is the research between Brian. We had gotten his interview. We had gotten the police report where they said they didn't feel like giving it back. So that was more than enough for us. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm not surprised at all after learning about it. I think this is just, you know, they're just really skeezy guys, you know, and it's just, it makes sense that, because to scheme something like this, you would have to have some kind of level of experience, because it's kind of like, look at Reckless Ben. He's been doing YouTube 10 years. You know, everyone's saying the Lego video is the best video he ever did. It's because he makes every video he does better than the last one. So it's almost like, you know, Amon has made every scheme better than the last one, and he's gotten really good at it. You know what I mean? He's a professional schemer. So this is just his MO now. Maybe he even got complacent, but look at it. You know, they got away with it. You know, they would have got away with it if it weren't for us. They had really yanked Brian around for a whole year by the time we showed up, and there was going to be no resolution. They just hid behind lawyers. They blamed the franchise, then the franchise blamed corporate, and it was just a circle, you know what I mean, of just nonsense.
They even tried to blame Crystal and Benjamin. You're crazy.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily. Yeah, I mean, they definitely were completely innocent, I believe, in my opinion. I'm just going to say that. Right. But I do think, you know, I definitely know for a fact, and I don't even have to say in my opinion, like Brandon and Josh are just like really bad guys and just bullied Brian, who's a super sweet, nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy.
No, he is. I've interacted with him, man. He's just like this super nice dude. Do that to him is just crazy. You just got to be like a bully. That's what they are. They just hid behind their money and their corporation.
Bullies.
You had mentioned they hid behind their lawyers and things like that. I want to know, and if you don't know, that's fine. But do you know, or did you, or Reckless Ben or anyone consult with any attorneys prior to engaging in this, starting this video?
No, I know Brian had been in touch. They even say in the police report the lawyers had reached out to him, and it was just the same thing he told us. The lawyers he reached out to on his end just told him it was going to be more money because they were going to have to shut down the store, do an inventory report, all this stuff, and it was going to end up costing him more money than the stuff was worth. So Brian was just completely out of luck. But Ben's never consulted a lawyer in any video. He gets sued every single video besides, I think, his one cult video. He didn't get sued because they don't believe in police.
Wait, is that the one that runs the restaurant that he worked at?
Yeah, I believe it was the Yellow Deli. Correct. That's the only one. He didn't get on.
Those people are weird, but
yeah, it's so funny how he legally, and he was told this is how much Ben doesn't do lawyers. He was told, yeah, correct. It was Yellow Deli. Only time he's ever been sued. And the lawyer told him that he actually had a lawsuit because he did legally take over their business because he found a loophole because that's what he does. And he just didn't care. He could have got all this money, but he said he didn't want to take away their deli from them because he would have felt bad because that's how nice.
So you don't get paid for working at this deli because you're part owner, right?
So he had everyone work for a day. All of his friends as virgins. He had a virgin army. It's so legendary. And then he legally owned it, and they voted out the old owners, and legally he was right.
Yeah, they got a majority because everyone was a one.
Yep. So yeah, it's a
great series of videos.
Yeah,
That's
it's what I mean by Ben's the most underestimated YouTuber of all time. Everyone else would I remember we'd gotten the cops called on us, and I'm every other YouTuber would have been getting these Legos back on wrong, and then we would have been done filming, and that would have been his whole video. But he was we got the cops called 9 more times or something like that in the span of 3 days. You know what I mean? And that still wasn't even the end of part 1.
So you were telling us a story about how you were robbed of your cell phone. You were robbed of your cell phone recently, weren't you?
Yeah, by the American court, Officer Adamson. I think. And this is my personal opinion. I think he thought I was hot, right? And he wanted to steal my phone while it was open to go through my nudes.
Oh,
yeah. He was hoping.
I think he was deeply closeted and he was fiending for some nudes.
You could hear the disappointment in his voice when you got the unredacted body cam, and he's
sad.
and shoot, he let the phone lock out.
Well, and it was on my wallet. You can't get into my phone through the wallet because I hit the button twice by accident. I don't know how it was unlocked in my pocket. That's why I kept emphasizing. I mean, it was unlocked. That's why he snatched it, but I was too quick. It was just, it was very interesting. Definitely, you're not allowed to do that. Not how.
Yeah, no, he had no legal right to take that phone from you.
Not at all.
It doesn't stop them from doing it, though, does it?
No, but it would have been. It's called Fruit of the Poison Tree. They were just mad. After I got. Everyone said I should shut up. I tried that with these cops and I got Mirandized. And I said no. And then they arrested me for locking my phone, which I knew. This is the thing. If I had said no to giving him my phone, I would have got tackled or something because it was a lawful command. It was an unlawful.
It wasn't a lawful command.
It wasn't
a
lawful
command. And you said sure. Actually, at first you said no.
Well, no, they said, do you want to keep talking after they Mirandized me? I said no. And then they said, we're going to need your phone, which I've talked to lawyers. It was. Even if they're not allowed to, that's a lawful command. So I did have to, in my opinion, I had to follow it. I mean, I could have told them no, but all they would have done is grab my phone out of my pocket anyways. So, I mean, there was no scenario where they weren't grabbing my phone right there. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, you're right. It isn't necessarily a lawful command, but it is even if a police officer gives you an lawful command, if the police officer tells you we need something, you have to give it to him. At least my knowledge of the law, but I agree. He's not allowed to give that command, but he did. So it's a lawful command.
Are you filing suit or have you filed suit?
We've got a GoFundMe going. We've got one of the best civil rights lawyers in the whole country. He's the most high profile. His name's Solomon. He's amazing. He's even the process server. She ended up hanging around after that. And then she was no longer a process server. She was just helping with the video. She was a fan. But Ben's, she was a process server. Ben had just met her. And so then she ends up helping and stuff. And then she ends up at the Airbnb getting swatted. So she's getting included. And then me, Tyler's production, shout out Tyler's production. He's the next PewDiePie. And then Sierra and me are all suing the police, or trying to. And we just need funding because he's got to travel. And yes, we are trying to sue the police at least.
BJ! What's up,
Hey,
girl?
PJ
What
Live.
up?
My best friend.
She's the best, dude. You're the best. Plug in my channel. I appreciate it, dude.
Appreciate it.
Also, if half Irish, oh, she put it in there already. So I think
Here
this
we
is
go,
my chat, but if we could plug that in Valhalla's chat, or maybe my other chat as well.
Yeah, half Irish.
If you guys want to help out, we have a GoFundMe.
Nice.
I cannot vouch for the legal advice or the quality of the representation, but if you want to help
But we know we have very generous viewers, and we hope that you feel inclined if you want to donate to do so. Thank you so much.
So the attorney, is it the same as the YouTuber, or is it someone that the YouTuber's helping you find?
The civil rights lawyer on YouTube hooked me up with him. Yeah. So it's one of his buddies. He's one of the most high profile. He's just absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's just it's gonna be sick. We're gonna it is almost read the literature. It's written by a lawyer in there. But it's especially on like Tyler and Sierra's case, and me too. I was told I was under arrest, right? And under arrest and under detainment are two different things, and you cannot detain someone back to a police station. And also, everyone said I should have shut up. From a civil standpoint, me talking was better, believe it or not. And me getting the detective to admit that you can't delete something from a phone by hitting one button, that was my goal. I'm like, I'm going to get this guy to admit, because at this point, I think I'm being charged, and I never got charged with anything.
I was going to ask you if you ever got charged with anything.
No, they told me I was detained once I got to the police station. It's like, that's not how the law works. You're not allowed to.
This is the civil rights lawyer. He's done a few videos on this, and he's the one that hooked you up with your attorney, correct?
Yeah, correct. He's going to post part 3. Part 3 super sick. Part 3 is me. So I help YouTubers. He just made a post about it today and stuff. He's just my lawyer will be interviewed in that. I'll also hop on a call with Tyler.
Is that Solomon Radner, Sheldon?
Oh, correct.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, because there definitely needs to be some sort of follow up there with the police conduct. And my understanding is that this is not their first run in with this sort of thing. And in fact, their training is wholly inadequate from what from what I've seen. They don't provide their officers with any First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment training. Basically, the training focuses on firearm training, SWAT training, and all the stuff that the cops want to do because it's cool, man. But not on anything that actually protects citizens' constitutional rights.
Well, they don't care about the Constitution and American fork.
Yeah, no.
The other thing was interesting is that I watched a breakdown of the American Fork's police chief video, and this guy who regularly handles these kind of cases. I've handled them from time to time in the past, but not regularly. But he was like, the statements that they make, they basically stand up for the conduct of their officers, so they can't now go back and say, well, we didn't have control over our officers at the moment, and so the city's not liable. But because they retroactively basically said, yeah, the officers were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and protecting and protecting the Utah State Code and all of that, that they basically opened the whole city up to liability.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The police chief went on to say that I was manipulating my device, that the lawsuit had already been served by Ben, and that's just blatantly a lie. Provably, because who ended up serving Josh a few days later? It was the police. We went into the police station and paid the police 3 days later to serve him. So it's actually impossible for that to be true. And they knew that. They were the ones we paid to serve Josh.
Wait, so you You guys paid the police to serve Josh.
Yeah, that's how you can do that. You can go into the police station.
Why?
and pay
Yeah,
the
I know
police.
you can, but when did you do that? As
A couple
you know,
days later, because we were all, trespassed and all had been arrested, so we decided to go that route.
Okay.
I still have the receipt from days later on my Cash App because Ben didn't bring his wallet with.
So you actually paid the American Fork Police to serve after they arrested you for attempting to serve. Did they serve him?
Yeah, that's how Ben's going to court with him tomorrow.
Oh, is that tomorrow? Is that the civil thing tomorrow? The small claims
against Josh, correct?
That's interesting.
So
I thought it was like one of his criminal matters.
And we've seen the unredacted body cam footage. They said that there hasn't been proof of service uploaded yet. So I don't understand how that's in their records that they're the ones that served him.
So American Fork was paid to serve him after they arrested you all for trying to serve him. Then they did serve him, but they didn't produce the proof of service.
No. What I'm saying is when they arrested Ben, on the police chief the police chief's response saying about the criticism, he says when the officer called, Josh Johnson had already been served, which is not true. We went in days later and paid the American Fork Police days later to serve Josh. So him saying that, and then if you watch the unredacted body cam footage, it literally says they tell him there's no proof of service because after you serve.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because
there's no
the
way
police chief made the video after the incident, after the arrest, after he was already paid to serve him, and then said, "Oh, he's already been served." What a liable omission, I guess we would call it. It's not a straight up lie, but the implication is that he was already served ahead of time.
It's right, and that wasn't true. We went in and they're the ones that served him because we couldn't figure out a way to do it otherwise. And it's just like crazy for him to sit there and say on a video that Josh was already served when they were the ones that served him days later. Ben uploaded that proof. That is undeniable fact that Josh had not been served that lawsuit at that point and that it was real.
What sort of mafia protection racket is that? No, you can't do this thing that you're lawfully able to do, or else we're going to arrest you. But don't worry, you can pay me to do it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just the way they handled that was crazy. I could not believe we were under arrest for that. Especially my part. I'm like, dude, I'm doing a GoFundMe.
Hey, look at that.
We
are up to 1,000. Yeah, 1661 already.
Nice. I'm just gonna let everyone know the way GoFundMe works. It sets because it's not of AK. That's why Brian's keeps going up. The goal is higher than that. The lawyer said I needed more than that, so it's going to keep going up. But that's still super crazy and sick. Like that helps a shit ton, dude.
Yeah, tell them about Gives and Go, Valhalla.
I was curious why you guys were going with GoFundMe over Give Send Go.
I don't know. I just well, there were no criminal charges in this specific. This is just for me, Sierra, and Tyler, who received no criminal charges. So there's no way this will be taken down. We were not criminally charged. This is all civil. There is no criminal charges pending against any of us.
By the way,
they arrested you over civil charges?
What'd you say? No, they
arrested you.
Go ahead. That thing's sick.
Good, David.
No, I was told I was under arrest by Officer Adamson, and then once I got there, they told me I was detained.
They're suing instead of being. It's not for a criminal defense. That's why they're doing.
No, this is for our civil case. This is for us to pay for Solomon to defend us in a civil case.
So what actually happened with Ben's criminal cases? Because when Fork released their video and dropped the Dropbox file with all the court papers in it, it was accompanied by a statement from Fork where they basically said, listen, there's no active warrants, there's no charge, everything's dropped, everything's gone. And this was written, I think somebody went and checked, it was like 8 p.m. at night by the chief police, apparently. So it was like very quickly rushed out. So what actually happened with these criminal charges with American Fork?
Yeah, it's just our Nat one just hit it on the head. Ben's criminal charges are still pending. We were never criminally charged because there was nothing to charge us with. So it's just Ben is dealing with stalking, residential picketing.
But is
Disorderly
that actually
conduct.
an American fork? Because American
Yeah.
fork's statement implies that they're not pursuing anything.
No. They were saying that there wasn't a warrant out at the time. He still has.
Yeah, Ben didn't have an active warrant anymore.
Yeah,
but that still means there's charges. It has nothing to do with charges. See, the things that they say are so misleading. It's like the
this is what I mean. It's just it like comes across, and you can hear this in the interview where Ben's on with the Lego guys, where it's like, oh, they've dropped everything, and everyone in the car goes, hey, and it's just like it does seem like, and this is part of the problem. So much of this is so murky from kind of a public disclosure perspective. Like from body cam to actually what people are being charged with, or like what cases are going on. So from the perspective of where Ben sits now, he has several criminal charges against him. And is that just an American fork, or is that also in another state as well?
No, it's just American fork.
Okay.
I know that they were like talking to the LA police and stuff. But yeah, he just has those 4 misdemeanors that are pretty. I believe he will end up beating them. I think they're all a load of malarkey.
Well, they seem to want him to plead out. Which
he shouldn't do.
To be an impression. Yeah,
he should not do.
Do you know what they were talking to the LA police about?
I know that has to do with part 3. Yeah. I just know Amon lied a bunch and said we made death threats and stuff, and bomb threats, and the same stuff you kind of hear in the unredacted body cam footage where he's like, these guys are threatening the manager. They sent in a woman. That's not true. There wasn't even a woman in the crew in part 1, so definitely we never sent a woman in. It's just impossible. The entire crew. The
amount of lies that come out of that man's mouth just
it's just, everything he says is a lie.
It's just amazing,
unbelievable. I've never seen someone, and it's like he's in this position of like that should be very professional and I guess truthful. Can you get a public defender? I think Ben is going to be fine, guys. Anyone in the chat is worried. I know legally
he needs a lawyer. I don't care. He needs a lawyer.
No, I agree. I don't know why Ben's representing himself at all. I was very confused myself. Ben is also probably one of the smartest human beings who's ever lived in the history of our species. And the process server was not long-term crew. Sierra just met Ben. That is the truth. After she couldn't be a process server anymore, Ben felt bad, and she was a fan, but that doesn't mean they, that's neither here nor there. I feel really bad for Sierra. She's also part of this GoFundMe. She's a woman. She's had men message her address from them doxing all of us. And it's when one of my videos, I'm like, I'll literally show up and defend her if I have to. I don't even live anywhere near there, but like, that's crazy. So the American fork has just completely done everything wrong in this case. The
American fork doxed your address?
Yeah,
not a YouTuber.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm too scared to look. I was texted that all of our socials got leaked, but I was in the back of a cop car. I've read a lot of comments saying I shouldn't have given him my social. I never gave him anything. They stole my phone and then arrested me. So any information that they said, they just looked up. But I know some people's socials got leaked, and yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean the court documents are like basically unredacted. Interestingly, I believe some of them are redacted for people like Josh, which is
the only things redacted now are their muted body cams when they're trying to come up with something to arrest me for. Everything is unredacted now for those days. I've skimmed through it and stuff.
Have you watched the body cams?
Yeah, I have. The part where I get doxxed, I'm too scared to look because I don't want to. I'm already stressed enough as it is, and I already know for sure they went through and read out my license. So now my license is known. I don't know if they got my social. I know some people's socials got leaked. I'm just too scared to look because it's going to just it irritates me to no end. It's like, we've got our windows blacked out at my house. It's just so annoying. And other people have gotten messaged their addresses. It's like, and I was
have that too at his house, but for different reasons.
I was mad when they what did they do? Oh yeah, they said my first and last name in the American Fork Police Department, the chief. I'm like, why are you saying my first and last name? I'm like, I was just gonna be Sheldon online in Ben's videos. I was gonna come up with like probably a cool name, and then it's just like, and then I'm on Moist Critical's video getting responded to. Ben's responding to it. I'm like, now this has been viewed 30, 40 million times with my first and last name. There's no point. You know what I mean? It's just, and then they like take it a step further and give his address to the entire internet forever. And I'm like, sick.
Wait, isn't your channel your first and last name?
Well, that's why
now
it
it is because they
that's why
doxed
he
him.
that's why he changed it, right?
It wasn't.
And you
going-
weren't even under arrest, so there was no reason that your name should have been even in the mix.
I agree. I mean, but Officer Adamson decided I was under arrest for locking my phone.
That's okay. My name is out there and my address is out there. It happens.
It's a little different, don't you think?
Yeah, probably. It wasn't done by authorities.
Then gave Josh's email too. Yeah, I mean, they gave everyone's everything. They're so incompetent. It's unbelievable. I
can't believe the level of incompetence at every turn in this case is amazing.
Every single turn.
I'm telling you, they're on purpose doing. They have to be doing it on
I'm not even
purpose.
talking about that. I'm just like everything from like, hey, maybe we get an attorney to draft the consignment agreement, to hey, maybe we have a digital spreadsheet instead of a hand kept one by Crystal and Ben. And I'm not talking, trying to mess with them. They were great guests. But then to the response from corporate to the response from Josh and Brandon, to the way the police this everything it's so incompetent just across the board.
I agree. And then at the end of the day, it's like all we were trying to do was help Brian. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's like, how does it fall on YouTubers? That's sick. Did you build? What is that built out of Legos?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he did it just now.
Yeah,
how did you even do that, dude? That's crazy.
Isn't that
It's a
crazy?
new set. It's a new set. The
really
botanical sets that came out here the last go around are pretty cool. I got another one on deck.
Nice.
Magnolia branches.
You've
Oh,
just
that's
really
nice.
been killing the flowers lately, Valhalla.
Yeah, I like them.
I'll be right back, you guys.
You're good.
Well, who's gonna pull up chat, Wendy?
I got it. I got a good break spot. I'll do it.
All right. This thing, I have to show this again. This thing is awesome. If you're a fan of like Lego Star Wars, it's not the biggest set, obviously. This is one of like the tabletop ones, but this thing is sweet.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
It's only about 3 inches long. Dave's hands are just that small.
So I had a question and now I can't remember. I guess I was going more towards when. So what's the time frame between everything that takes place, like the end of episode 1 to the first part in episode 2, where you guys are in Utah? Like, what's the time frame between them?
Extremely long time, probably 10 months.
Really?
Yeah,
So
that's
the store
why-
shut down for like 10 months, and then you guys go to Utah?
So we did the video. We sued them. We served them all those lawsuits. They shut it down. Which that is, they say they closed it down because of a viral video. I critiqued this in my own video. How is the store shut down because of a viral video? If in the viral video the store is shut down at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no viral video against that store. They
They
closed down.
mentioned that well, you guys had even mentioned, or Reckless Ben did in the video, that the posting of the sign over the storefront went viral, at least on.
Oh, it went crazy viral. There were people at my work that were like, knew about it and stuff. I was getting it, but I think the algorithm knew I was involved. I don't know. Algorithms kind of be spying on you.
Were you aware of any like other videos or news coverage about the issue before that sign was posted?
No, there was no. I had no idea. No one had any idea. You know what I mean? At least that I know of. I mean, maybe you guys are in the Lego community. It'd be a better question for you guys. Did you guys ever hear about this? Because I know those YouTubers tried covering it.
I have a vague recollection of the sign, but that's it.
But the sign, exactly. You know what I mean? And that sign was, super funny. Yeah, other than the sign, they were already closed, and they closed down because they got hit with all those lawsuits. And Josh kept saying, sue us, and we did. And we were wrong, but then the store was closed. There was no way to serve them. And it's like, like we were saying in the video, like we felt like we won. We filed for default judgment. And if you look at Ben's Lose for Valentine video, once he did that, he won. So like I said, it wasn't like people are accusing Ben of lying. He would never have lied about that. And they did close down the store to avoid the lawsuits. That, in my opinion, that is without a fact, because we served them and then the store was closed.
BJ today was narrowing that timeline down, and I was running errands, so I didn't really get to absorb all the information, but it's pretty sus, the timing of that closure.
No, it was right after we served them the default judgments. The default judgments got mailed out and then they were closed. That is the truth.
Pretty sus.
And they say it's not even just sus. It's like, oh, it was because of viral videos. I don't know. It's just
well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, there wasn't a video released then. And although after the store was shut down and you guys hung the sign, there was a little bit of viral, whatever the word is.
Virality.
Thank you. About the sign, but again, it wasn't a video and it was all after the fact. So that story doesn't make sense.
No, they're just, I mean, and I don't know if anyone has kind of been tuned in. What I'd like to consider is another Bricks and Minifigs lie, which we're kind of at like a lot.
40,642 billion.
So
I think like it's like the U-Haul thing. It's such an absurd lie to tell. I mean, that entire story. I lost my mind on stream watching it because I was just like, it's just the most. It's like finding a child covered in chocolate and a broken like cookie jar, and it's like, well, actually, what happened was a bat came in, but the bat didn't do it. It was actually a cat chasing the bat that broke the cookie. It's like, can you just like for 5 fucking seconds like lock in? I think I mean, like with when Dave said about like the incompetence of all of this, there's a real part to this story. I think that's one of the reasons it's so fascinating. And one of the things I've said is, I view Ben, from having watched him over like since the McKinney Manor stuff, and going back over through his old story, I view him as a troll. He is an internet troll, realistically speaking.
He's the greatest,
and he's a very good troll. But he's like, I would say, he's very much in that category. He's creating entertaining content. He messes with people. He does IRL stuff. But it's generally like trolling corporations or trolling bigger people. That is essentially what his content is.
The difference between Reckless Ben and everyone else, he doesn't go into like a McDonald's. He doesn't go in and harass guys in a grocery store. He
I'm getting there.
No, he picks.
He does it to bad guys, so they deserve. And that's why I like Ben.
He picks assholes. Yeah, like absolutely.
Rush deserved everything they did to him. Like the guy was torturing people. Like these guys tortured Brian.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. But I think it's worth noting with kind of the condemnation that's seen of Ben, at least in my opinion, that like I've had a few people who've come to me like, well, Ben's lied about this and he's lied about this, and what about this? I'm like, look. Do I care about the internet troll who's creating an entertaining video and some of the timelining's off, or like we're condensing a huge amount of stuff? Or do I care about the massive corporation that is clearly and obviously lying on tiny live streams? I mean, one of the live streams he's on, the first one, the CEO's on, is a 6,000 subscriber live stream.
Oh yeah,
it is nothing, and it's
Brickheads or whatever.
And then he ends up talking to Coffeezilla. There's another I think it's Fox something or other interview he did, where again he just lies, and it's just like I don't know, either shut the fuck up like for 5 minutes, or tell the truth. Like you can't do both. It's like I said the other night, in business you have a choice. You can either be smart or you can be honest. Ideally, you're both. Very few people are, but it's you're really fucked when you're stupid and dishonest. And that's one of the biggest problems that the CEO's got. It's like, he gets caught in the most obvious fucking lies possible, and they have no credibility left. And I think it's very difficult to kind of condemn Ben in a really serious way when what you're dealing with is a really insane story just because of the stakes of, a national company with multiple stores all over the US.
And that's what sucks is that there's individual franchise owners getting caught in Amon's bullshit. And it's like, we didn't want that. You know what I mean? It's just it's just that is what happens when you're CEO. And I feel like Bricks and Minifigs' only way forward from this is to just have him on, step down, and get an actual good guy. Like maybe give it to Brian. You know, Brian's a really good dude. You know what I mean? He should be the CEO of Bricks
Just give him
That
the
would
whole
save
company.
it.
I said that, and my chat turned on me. They were like, "Brian wouldn't want it back at. Brian wouldn't want
Let
it.
me
He's too
let
good
me
a guy."
interrupt.
But-
Let me interrupt real quick and answer this question because it's been on screen like 4 different times now. It's a 125 gallon freshwater aquarium. It's got a handful of South American cichlids in it, including 2 Oscars, a chocolate cichlid, which I've never had before, and it's a really cool fish, and a red spotted gold severum. I've got 2. I can't remember what they're off the top of my head. They're unique plecos, and then about 4 or 5 pictus catfish in there with some minnows, and that's
What you guys don't know is Valhalla sent that super chat himself so that he would have a chance to talk about it.
I really like my fish tank, you guys. I really like
Yes,
it.
and thank you so much.
Excuse me
the-
for just a couple seconds.
Of course.
So I mean, but yeah, so that's how I see this story. Very much, it is far more interesting to talk about a corporation that is incompetent and insane from that perspective. And I think, you know, like there's this thing that happens in YouTube stories. We saw this happen with the Mr. Beast stuff, where people want to be critical of like little bits when you're like, well, there's a bigger story, and like it's fine to do both. But yeah, from the perspective of like Ben, I feel like he's tried to present something honestly in an incredibly complicated story, much more complicated than the ones that he's dealt with before. Like McCainley Manor is overall pretty straightforward, as are some of the other things when you're looking at it. But this is so many moving parts, particularly because of the inclusion of American Fork and the different locations that you're dealing with. I know that you've posted like behind the scenes stuff. You posted like 50-second clip, I think the other day or today.
Yeah, I just I've got a
yeah.
I just got to edit them right because obviously on a 50-second clip. Actually, my only job right now is YouTube. So, but you're not monetized, able to monetize in a 50-second clip. But that clip's hilarious. We were waking up Ben, and then Victor pokes his nipple and stuff.
I mean, have
boys
you
being
considered
boys.
have you considered doing a timeline video? Because I know we're like talking about the timeline and how confusing some of this is because it goes back and forth, or the dates on your cameras. I mean, has anyone considered, actually laying this out? Because I've had to have conversations with people where it's like, well, when did this happen? I've talked to people. I was like, well, did this start in 2024? Did it start in 2023? Like, and I said, I went, well, here's the store footage. That's like a dedicated timestamp that we've got from November 14th. So that's kind of like the start point of this. But it would help, I think, for somebody to have like a solid timeline of the events that involved you all.
It's really hard. I'm like super bad with dates, but everything for like storytelling isn't exactly in chronological order. Ben goes into the store, and then the next thing is me going in with that contract with the delivery. So, but that way later in the video, but that's because we didn't use the contract part until way later. Which that was obviously just us trolling. Obviously, you can't trick someone into signing a contract, but that was, that's why I say we tricked them. They were so used to us just hitting them with nonsense that they thought the lawsuits were fake. And that's why they didn't show up to court. They didn't even respond to them. And I think, they just thought that was fake too. Which they're just super stupid for thinking that.
Okay.
go
Sorry, I was just gonna. So timeline wise, so we go from Ben goes into the store first, gets kicked out with Amanda, and gets trespassed or pushed from the property by the police officer. Then you guys go in with the UPS stuff.
Yeah, which actually I was just wearing a dress shirt and a hat. I did not.
Right. Okay.
They're saying we just bought a shirt from Walmart and then a hat, and it was like a sports hat. There was no impersonating anything. It was their fault for thinking I was an actual delivery guy. Which that was just us trolling. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like
sure. Yeah. No condemnation. But like, so after that happens, what's the next thing that occurs timeline wise?
I think so next, we probably I think Victor's World's next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Victor's World's next because I was going to confront Amanda with the contract, but then we decided to do Victor's World because I was going to set up the same shop Ben did. So I think maybe it's I think it's Ben Swap is next, actually. Yeah, it was like Ben Swap's next.
So you already had the company formed at that point then?
Oh, Ben had that before. Yeah, he had a franchise agreement for We Steal From Old People. I signed it.
That was all done way before you guys started filming, like way
I didn't
before
even
the
know that
first
was a
time
thing.
Ben walked in.
This is the thing no one understands about how smart Ben is. This entire video was planned out step by step the entire time. I mean, there's bits added in from us brainstorming, like me going up and dapping up Victor, things like that. You know, some of the stuff we came up with, but the entire general premise from A to Z of Lego Part 1, Ben had already formulated back in California and had all those props ready. Everything was planned out. I mean, he's 10 steps ahead of everyone.
So that helps. So it does also yeah, and I guess this is why the timeline's confusing, right? Because like he's got stuff planned out, and the way we see it from the outside is obviously fairly unchronological, and it is very difficult to tell at what stage you guys do things. So he's already got this company set up pretty early on. He's got so you go from the UPS stuff to Ben Swap, then to Victor, and then is the raffle after that?
Yeah, I believe then we did the raffle. Yes.
Okay.
It's just from a storytelling perspective, it makes the video better because it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, he didn't have to show that I did the contract until he used it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would he show
yeah, no,
that?
Absolutely.
And
I think
later,
the only reason I'm drilling in on it is because it's confused people.
Yeah, no,
because Ben's under the scrutiny, it's much more of a question of like when stuff happens. Because I think this comes to like
within
with the
5
default.
days. So we're talking, you know what I mean? We're talking a 3-day difference, which we were filming nonstop for 5 or 6 days.
Right. Okay.
So it's like he's only showing things, you know what I mean, a day or two out of context. You know what I mean? So it's not like it really, I don't know. I can understand where that confuses people, but it's just from a storytelling perspective, the way Ben, and we can clearly see that by the virality of the clip, Ben knows.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
The way he tells stories, he wants everyone to be able to understand everything that's happening. So he doesn't want he wants you to be able to show your grandma the video. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, a big concept, big YouTubers and him have taught me storytelling wise. You want everyone to be able to understand everything that's happening. So you don't have to, and that's why he explains everything in detail. I'm impressed. Yeah, I know. Ben's really good at storytelling.
There's one thing that I think I got right, and I want to know. The clips of the CEO in the first video, those are it appears like you guys went back there multiple times, but those are both taken from the same meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, got that one right. I knew he did. He's dumb, but I know he didn't wear the same shirt twice in a row.
Yeah, because like, and again, don't get me wrong, I've been very like I love the story. I think Ben is fantastic. I think the only problem it's highlighted is that particularly I think this comes to light with the default cases with the lawsuits, because the way that's presented within the video, it does hurt Ben. Let's just be honest. The fact that he's had to come out and make clarifications. And he goes, we've won the lawsuits, we've got the defaults, the stuff with the LLCs isn't clear in the first video. And because the timeline becomes murky, you've got a situation where from an audience perspective and from a commentator perspective, we're now questioning, okay, well, so what are we missing from the timeline? How much has happened? And you said, you know, well, things are a little bit out of line, maybe by a couple of days. But when I watched the video, I don't know whether it's a couple of days or potentially a couple of months, because Ben's flying from LA to Oregon. There's a lot of travel involved. And the timeline is so long for this. I mean, this story started really in 2024 in November. That's when, you know, the events begin. So like nailing that down from a outside perspective is really important, in my opinion, especially if we're going to start hitting a point where things slow down. And it gives more and more time for these questions to build up. So answering those key points is going to be, at least in my opinion, and I'm, again, taking this from the perspective of hearing it in the commentary, side of YouTube. I think maybe important. If that makes sense.
I would agree with that too. And one of the other things that I have, like what questions that have popped up is like when the first time Ben walked into the store, at least in the video, all of a sudden, whatever her name is, Angie or whatever the manager, Amanda, is like, get out, I'm calling the cops. And it's like, that seems like a really rash response.
That was the first time we all were huddled around the phone. I had just met Ben, and it had been like, we'd been there like an hour. And he's like, I'm going in. And then we were huddled around the phone. And that was the first interaction with Amanda, I promise.
But the reason why, because it's such an unusual reaction, right? And so the question that we have is that a legitimate reaction and they're just like those kind of people? Or is it because they've been there, half a dozen times before?
Nope, that was exactly how Amanda reacted. Amanda sucked. Right. That was how.
Yeah, that's fine. Amanda appears to have sucked. I'm just trying to emphasize Becca's point in that
we just started filming. That was the first thing we did. Is Ben go in and go, and he's like, "Oh, I have the contract," and we were all huddled around a phone listening to it, and I kept saying, "I don't know if you guys have seen the meme where it's like you need to leave." You know what I mean? I kept bringing that up because it was like that's what she was like. She was just a Karen. I promise you.
The reason why that's called in the question is because some of the other things about the timeline aren't necessarily clear.
No, that was the first interaction. It's just, once again, from a storytelling perspective, he just brings up things as they're relevant. So things are mixed around a little bit, but that was, without a doubt, the first interaction we had with them was him going in. And, it just gave us a taste.
Wait, what's her name again? Angie? Andrea? Amanda. We need Amanda on this video. Or on the show. I want to talk to her.
Can you imagine? She's probably in a dungeon somewhere being hidden by the corporation.
You know what? I'm all about equal opportunity for everyone to give their side. I did reach out to corporate to see if they wanted to come on.
We aren't.
They have not responded.
I bet.
Well, the first interview they've said no to. What?
Right?
What a magical experience.
They finally got a real attorney. They're like, nope, we're lawyering up.
Now I'm going to go with that and not just like, I know we went on some small channels, but Lego Law Life and Libations is just too small for us.
We ain't doing it.
I'm not modding that one. I don't blame you, bro. Right? I wouldn't want to moderate that either. It'd just be we steal from old people links nonstop.
Oh.
Yeah, it did seem like they were grooming Amanda for store ownership. She was like the next Crystal. Like they were like, oh, you're great. We love you. You're so wonderful.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're selling franchises, and then they're just waiting until they go bankrupt, and then taking all the inventory.
Well, that's what they did to Crystal. It sounds like
and not even going bankrupt.
Well, that's right.
They're just taking it over regardless,
driving them out,
free money,
leaving people with $500,000 rent due, and
they screwed that guy. That poor guy. They screwed their own dad. If you will literally do the worst thing possible to your own father, who wouldn't you do it to? You know what I mean?
He was CEO of Bricks and Minifig.
The Lego Queen.
What about Lego Queen? She got offered, and here's what's crazy. I've never been paid for anything, which I do it for the love of the game, and I also just love YouTube. Yeah, but Ben and Victor offered her a job, which I would jump on in 3 seconds. I would be so happy, and she told him to shove it. Yeah, they called her on Ben's second channel, Ben Schneider, and offered her a job and money. And she said she told him to shove it. And I would have, been so happy to work for We Steal from Old People.
Wait. She's mad at Ben and them? She's
not
on good terms?
She's like, you lost us her job. And she's, also this girl had me step on Legos and tried getting me to jump in a lake. And so everyone doesn't like my opinion on it. I'm just like, if Reckless Ben offers you a career, you probably should jump it. Yeah,
right.
She didn't. And
I jumped in the Lego career of a lifetime. Look at me.
Show this.
Yeah, she only made like $1,000 a month.
Wait,
really? At the
it was like she made like $7 an hour and worked part time. Like she'll be fine.
Would have been famous.
Yeah, she is. She could have literally like flipped sides, but she thought we were some dumb TikTokers, and she kept saying like, I love that we're doing streamer stuff. And I'm like, oh, honey, this is a Reckless Ben video. Like,
I want to take a moment. There's 292 watching across several platforms. We are so close to getting up to $2,000. Can we get there before
we can get it up to $2,000 even without my help?
This is pinned in my comments. So if you're my
shout out David Weller, dude. You're a G, bro. That's gonna be sick.
Thank you.
Also, PSA, Lego Queen. It's not too late, girl. You can come back to the fold. You can come back.
Yeah, me too. I'll quit my Lego gig here and go work for Ben. We'll be in there.
We're all working. What the hell? We're all working for Reckless Ben, dude.
Hey, you tell me for BJ Valhalla.
So I mean, it does suck she lost her job, but I mean, and this was my opinion on it. I'm like, if I knew my bosses ripped off, and she was under the impression that they had paid Brian back. That's what they had told her. And we were like, no, dude, you know what I mean? And yeah, it just, the whole thing sucked. I felt bad for her too, don't get me wrong, but like, if you're going to work for like an immoral company, you know, I'll walk out of a job, like definitely for that. I've walked out of plenty of jobs just for treating me bad. If they had ripped someone off, me personally, I would have been like, I don't want to work for you guys, especially for the amount of money she was making. Especially to go work for We Steal for Old People, like working with like, you know, Ben's girlfriend's Lydia. She's super awesome. That would have been like way cooler than working with Amanda and Josh. Like working with Ben and Lydia in Los Angeles would have been the sickest thing probably humanly possible. They're super cool. But instead she told them to leave her alone. So that's what happened with the Lego Queen. She decided she didn't want to work with a famous YouTuber and stuff. She would rather, you know, I don't know. They even could have got her a job besides with them with another Lego store right down the street. And she didn't want that either. So, I mean, it's like not really our fault. It's their fault for stealing from old people. If they hadn't stolen from old people, they would still have their store.
Not nice. Don't steal from old people.
Yeah, it's super bad. So yeah, I mean, you know, definitely.
It's so funny that
under Crystal though.
What'd you say?
Was she at the store under Crystal, or did
No,
they
it was
replace
when-
the entire staffing team?
I don't know. We never asked if she used to work for Crystal or not.
according to
think
Ben
so.
and Benjamin and Crystal, who were on our show last week, all the staff was.
I thought there was two that worked for both of them.
I might have heard that wrong. Then go back and watch our Lego stream with Benjamin. And
I might
Crystal.
be misremembering.
Our last
Yeah, because
Lego
it is an odd question to look at, like some of the statements that have come out from both, like some of the stuff she says in the first video, and also some of the the call in that we've got to CoffeeZilla, like the anonymous other staff member that phoned him who had a voice changer and things meant to be from Brandon and Josh's other store. Now, like obviously we can't verify that person's an actual employee, but it is interesting that there seems to be at least some awareness that something weird's going on. And from like this perspective of Lego Queen, she was happy to go along with stuff, and she did talk to you guys about what was happening with this.
Even after she found out who you were, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, she was happy. She's like, I love being part of some streamer stuff, but they just thought we were some TikTok kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know he's a 30-year-old man. He's not a kid.
Right.
Yeah, Ben's a full-grown adult. He's also, like I said, probably one of the smartest human beings who's ever lived.
He comes off as so disarming too. I could see
Yeah,
why
you would just underestimate
he would
him.
be able to do what he does. You know what I mean?
You would underestimate him, and then it's like, it's just he's so much smarter than you'd think.
Rock Million, where did this come out that the U-Haul wasn't returned until 6 a.m.? Where did you hear about that? Was that on BJC's or something, or?
Well, we got the U-Haul scoop directly from Crystal and Benjamin.
Well, no. But corporate said, or
they
Brandon said
timestamped it at 9:43. Sorry, 12:43 in the morning.
Yeah. So where did it come out that it was actually returned at 6 a.m.? Not that I'm doubting you. I'm just wondering where you heard it, because I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
YouTube video just dropped today.
Which
saw that
channel?
Too. Let me check.
Okay.
Appleseed Jimmy or something.
Appleseed Jimmy or something.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah, it's very difficult to pin some of the stuff down like that.
Did they though?
Dug up the actual U-Haul receipts.
Yeah, but
I'd have to see that video. I'd have to see that video. I mean, again, it wouldn't surprise me that they'd lied. They've lied about everything else. Why wouldn't they? But like, you know,
Maddie Appleseed. I don't know who that is.
The Unchanging Jimmy. I don't know.
Maddie Appleseed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maddie.
I'll try to dig it up, James says.
Maddie Appleseed.
David will do it. Valhalla will do it.
All right, I got Maddie Appleseed up here now.
We've got 4 YouTube streamers here. They
Evidence missed.
Yeah, I've got it. It's only 3 minutes long. Can we watch it? Can we?
Shall we?
MLS, you got it pulled up.
I'd be really interested.
Here we go, kids.
And in the Reckless Ben case.
Wait, can you guys hear it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if I shared something.
Evidence has emerged regarding CoffeeZilla's expose on the U-Haul.
This U-Haul that supposedly was driven up to the store the night of the takeover. In a U-Haul to the Salem store, and he has an hour drive back to Eugene to drop off the rental truck. So he drops it off at midnight or 1 o'clock, something like that, and then heads back up to the camper trailer in Salem, and then probably gets in at around 2 or 3 in the morning, a little bit of sleep before he has to head back to the store at 9 a.m. before the other employees get there. The timeline that is trying to be portrayed just makes absolutely zero sense.
What he just tried to say made absolutely zero sense. Can we just say that was the worst? Like, I think Beckett said it right. It's like the kid with the covered in chocolate and broken.
Yeah, it's absolute fucking nonsense. There's literally no other way to describe it. It's meaningless. It's meaningless babble. I think my theory is that they'd been told ahead of time, like by in a couple of hours or something. And they were like, we need to come up with any story that sounds vaguely plausible.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, listen, someone in the office who was like, yeah, I'd believe that. And they're like fucking high or something. I don't know.
It's not normal. It's not normal for a grown adult to just sit there and lie to your face repeatedly.
It's not.
After you know what I mean? Like in that interview with CoffeeZilla had him change his story 3 different times in the same conversation.
Oh, good.
And he just did it with no abandonment, like nothing. There was no reservation. He was just spewing lie. Oh my god.
Well, my theory is that his little wax mustache thing. I think he's using some sort of like toxic chemicals, and it's just started to affect his brain. He's constantly like sniffing.
Super glue.
Fumes. Yeah. He's just sniffing the fumes from his own mustache.
Better than what we thought.
Hey, that mustache was cool when he was in high school, man.
You heard it here, y'all.
That mustache was cool during the silent movie period, where it was the villain who'd tie people to train tracks. That's when that mustache.
You heard it
was
here.
in vogue.
Shout out
here, boys and girls.
My best
friend.
You heard
it here, boys and girls. My bad. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take this joke. God damn it. You heard it here first, y'all. Beckett claims that Ammon is basically a radium girl of 2026.
Yes. True.
By the way, Valhalla, speaking of taking something, I have to I have to show this because I meant to do it earlier. Because earlier you guys stole his idea. Somebody stole his idea. Teddy for $10. But I forgot. It was so long ago that he put that up. I forgot where it came from.
I thought we read it out of chat. It wasn't an.
Oh no! I think Teddy said it on my stream.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's one of mine. We brought him over.
But I feel bad because he paid $10 to say that, and I kept pulling it up, but I couldn't say it because I didn't want to interrupt people.
2 or 3 in the morning, a little bit of sleep before he has to head back to the store at 9 a.m. before the other employees get there. The timeline that is trying to be portrayed just makes absolutely zero sense. First, the U-Haul contract on November 14th. This checks out what we already know. Then I got sent a photo, the last one Brandon took in the Salem store, dated 9:44 p.m. And lastly, I was sent a photo Brandon took of the mileage in the U-Haul as he dropped it back off at the rental place on November 15th, 12:41 a.m. Now, the time gap there is about 3 hours between the last photo in Salem to dropping the U-Haul off, which is a bit of a problem for our timeline.
Yeah, it took 4 hours. I worked till 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I gotta get up early for.
By the way, I just want to add one thing. There is a corroborating witness that's disinterested in this whole case The neighboring salon remembers this night specifically, at least according to Crystal. Remembers this night, the neighboring salon in Eugene, Oregon, remembers the U-Haul truck and showing up and them unloading because they were there forever and they were really loud and she had a late client there.
Yep.
And so that person's been talking with Crystal. I just want to point that out.
Yep.
For any who missed our Lego stream with Crystal and Ben.
It was a good
We
stream.
moved 4 hours of Legos out of this truck.
So there's actually two different things that are going on here, just to help you understand. Back on the 24th of October, there was a U-Haul that went to a storage unit in Salem.
One of the most bizarre stories I've ever heard, to have a U-Haul thing back to back. One of the times you're picking up Legos, the other time you're not, you're taking a camper. So as weird as this U-Haul thing is, the timeline just doesn't fit, to be honest. If it took 4 hours to unload, you can't also drive to another city, load and unload and drop off the U-Haul in that time. But still, even if this is true, it's pretty weird.
But did you know that timeline may be false? And we have new evidence to prove it because some Redditors have gotten into this. First, My BR Has Wings pointed out that the contract number can be used on the U-Haul website to pull up the receipt. And they found the receipt, the return time was 6:12 instead of around 12 a.m.
That's awesome.
Minifigs had suggested maybe the attendant returned it. But, geez, how do you fly? If you look at the contract, it says that a convenience fee will be added of 20 if an attendant returns it for you. However, you can bypass this by doing the self-return process. So if he returned it by himself at 12, why does this receipt show 6:12? So Brussels Sprouts McGee went deeper into the U-Haul posts on Reddit, and he said it is impossible for you to have a 6:12 return time without doing self-return. When you do self-return, it automatically logs the time through the app. So he must have done that if he did not get a convenience fee, because that's charged when you don't do self-return. Meaning the U-Haul was returned at 6:12. They would have had enough time to unload a U-Haul if it was returned at 6 a.m.
Brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick.
Okay.
The
So
collective
he filled out
knowledge of the internet is
It's
amazing.
It's amazing. So they essentially he filled out the self-return on the app at 12:01 and didn't actually drop the vehicle off till 6:12. Is that what I'm understanding?
I believe so.
That's what it sounded like to me.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Or maybe, I mean, like if you're thinking like a criminal, right? And you're trying to cover your tracks, then you drive to the return location, you take a picture of your dash, which will timestamp you at the U-Haul rental place, which I'm assuming is near Eugene, Oregon, because that's where he's said to have flown in to, right? So then you go about and you do your 4 hours of unloading trucks, and you've got yourself your timeline covered, right? If you're thinking like a criminal, right? We've seen this sort of stuff in LawTube and that sort of thing. So that makes sense to me. Like if he's like that shows a level of intent to deceive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. He took a pick at 12. What about the 160 miles? Well, the 160, it's an hour drive, but it's not that far from Eugene to Salem. It's like 45 miles. So
I can see someone in the chat said, "Is Josh really smart?" And that would be my like. Oh, yeah. It would be Brandon.
Yeah,
like that is kind of my question. It's like, are you? Do I believe you're smart enough to do that?
He thinks he is.
He may not be someone that worked for him was.
So BJ was digging into him pretty hard, and he was doing these like summits, right, where he would go and speak, and it was all very shady. And I don't have the exact like. I might not have this down exactly because BJ burns my brain every day when I listen to her. Can't keep up. She's way smarter than me, y'all. But essentially, they were running these like summit operations where like everybody would go and they would just kind of pass all these people around. In every tier, they required more money, so they would just kind of cycle these people around. Like, so he's not stupid. He's not dumb. And thinking that he's just a big goon, I think, is a mistake. Same with Brandon Best. Yeah.
I'm looking at the drive distance between Salem, Oregon, and Eugene, Oregon, and it's 65 miles. But the thing is so if he flies into Eugene, Oregon, rents a U-Haul, then drives to
100%.
Salem,
100%,
and then closes down the store, loads up a bunch of stuff, then drives back to Eugene. I can't imagine that it's 140 some miles. No, I got that wrong. It's 65.7 miles. And that's city center to city center.
Yeah.
So
Somebody said they do it in
I love
50
it.
minutes when they
So,
drive it.
if you were to if you were to do that and then again go to the U-Haul location, take a picture, timestamp and all that stuff, it can't be that far from the Eugene, Oregon store location. It's in the same city. So that that makes sense to me.
Allegedly, Monkey, his truck was allegedly.
Tyler Swain says it's 45 minutes in the middle of the night with no traffic. He's like, I live in Salem. Eugene is 45 minutes in the middle of the night with no traffic. Makes sense.
Wait, MLS has a lot of homework to do before her stream. Oh, you're talking about BJ's stream?
I'm so excited.
That's all MLS and Valhalla do every day is homework on this case, y'all. Because guess who reads it?
There has been
Sheldon, how are you coming on your Lego build, by the way?
Oh, it's going
You love that.
Not very good. I've never built Legos. I think.
Oh, never?
Never
No.
built Lego?
No.
I sent him too many. I should have sent him a Duplo set.
I got the.
You leave Sheldon alone. We're not all Lego people.
Sick.
I don't think that's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
He made up
I
his
just built that
own.
set. That doesn't look right.
He made up his own.
Dan McNeff was never a victim in the lawsuit filed by his kids. That was the business.
Well, according to Dan McNeff, he was. According to Dan McNeff, he got his business stolen by his kids illegally.
Now with the judgment, he has clean hands in all this. BJ today connected a couple of dots, and it appears that Dan McNeff is actually kind of still the boss of the bricks and minifigs thing.
Really?
Yeah.
But do you
And
think
why
it's
did
one
he
of
go
these
on
things where
public
he's-
record and say that his kids stole his business from him illegally? Do the
It's
McNaffs have the most?
Well, that's not the only thing he said on record, though. He also was like, "Well, now I'm being harassed and attacked. It's nothing to do with me."
Yeah, he
And it
played
is
the
one of
victim
these
real hard.
It's one of these things where it's like, potentially, did he sit down and go, "Listen, there's other things going on. You can have the business, son. You've always wanted to be a CEO. Yeah, I remember you when you were younger, wanting to be a CEO. Well, I can make your dreams come true. You take over the business, and you take it from me, and I have no liability left. And
The whole
I'll still
thing,
run it.
the whole thing
This is what we're
apparently
talking
links
about.
back to legally
I mean,
mined.
I think what happened is Dan McNeff hit an age where he was considered elderly, and then
I don't think so.
And
I
then
don't think
Amon
so.
decided to steal the company because he was old. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
Because they steal from old people.
Yeah. So once he became old, clearly he was an easy target.
I don't think so. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Why
I
would he
think
say my sons illegally removed me from that position?
he's full of shit. There's
But-
so many lies in just this statement alone. He says
Is he
in the
trying to
statement that
distance
every
himself
single
from his sons?
please listen. He said in this statement that every single franchise is independently owned and operated. We know that to not be factual. We
That's
know
true.
that corporate owns some of those franchise.
Well,
I would
it might have been
be
when he
willing
was
to
CEO.
bet. Huh?
It might have been when he was CEO that they were all
No,
franchises.
he's saying today. He's saying in regards to the harassment today. Every one of those is independently owned and operated. That's never been the case with this company. This statement is intentional and it is full of inaccuracies, in my humble opinion. And I am willing to bet that he understands the situation better than anybody else involved, period. Flat out. End statement.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I've said, yeah, I mean, again, regarding kind of Crystal and stuff, because I do think there are some questions there with that former ownership, both to do with the bookkeeping, with her agreement with Brian, we're looking at something that happened over the course of like from 2020. I mean, this started in 2023, like when they first took that consignment on. So you've got a significant period of time where they've got this in store, and they're, and if CoffeeZilla's right, the payout to Brian total that was actually given to him was like 15 grand, which is significantly less than we would expect with a amount of Lego valued at what it is. So there's definitely questions there, and it comes down to, like, Crystal's one of two things: is either there's either stuff that's been lied about, there's misleading things, or, as Crystal seems to indicate, she was not in a very good place. Her bookkeeping went downhill, and she was, and her and her husband were going through various things because they were trying to flee the country. So it could be either, but there's a real temptation in stories like this to go, well, here are the villains, here are the good guys. And, experience tells most of us that stories like this are much more complicated than just good people, bad people. So I wonder whether, like, Valhalla's right with the dad, where it's like, yeah, they're actually still involved. There's no reason to just take people's word for it, because, yeah, I mean, people are just lying at every turn in this.
Well, that's how the mafia operated, right? When the boss was in charge, then all of a sudden, when the feds may or may not be looking at him, all of a sudden he's infirm and walking in a with a walker in a wheelchair, and he's the sick, feeble old man. Yeah.
Well, but then if he was a sick, feeble old man, Amon McNabb would have stole money from him.
Exactly, because they steal from old people.
You know what I mean?
I mean, again, this comes back to the timelining thing. It's like the early stuff with just before all this happens. So we've got like a 20-day period when Crystal first calls Bam, and then Brandon comes in, does the secret shopper thing, and then 20 days later, Brandon comes in to take over.
There's not a single person on the planet that can convince me that he wasn't casing the joint and seeing what Lego sets were in there in that video.
Oh yeah, I completely. I think that there's definitely they're inventory taking. They're like, well, we're going to take this store over, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I do think, again, from what I've heard from other store owners, it seems to be the case that the redistribution of stock, for whatever reason, whether it is to minimize losses or it's because things are then, because I think someone was saying I think it was the potential employee in the CoffeeZilla video was saying, well, some of this was in cash in hand potentially. Don't hold me to that. It could have been someone else who said it, but there's questions there. But it's like at the point where you're like, I'm checking out the store. That's when we'd expect you to her to contact Brian. So it's very hard to tell with stories like this that's so long and convoluted what's a genuine mistake and what's dishonest.
Well, and Brian's stuff wasn't the only. He wasn't the only consignee in there. I mean, there was all kinds of people's stuff was still in there, not just.
Well, that's what's a genuine mistake and what is just bad actors. That's why and I saw somebody in chat that said, well, maybe he dropped it off and then the clerk who checked in the next day put it at 6 whatever a.m. But if in fact he did a self check-in at 6 a.m. instead of the 12:42 or whatever he told CoffeeZilla, that shows the intentional wrongful act. That's not just an accident. That's an intentional deceiving where you are and when the truck's being dropped off, sort of thing. And it could be completely unrelated, for whatever reason. It could be because he's on the corporate dime and he wants to show corporate that he got it done overnight and whatever it may be. But it's an intentional act, presumably, to deceive when and where you're dropping the truck off.
And it's like that guy in chat, James, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, just said, my last video I covered, they said there were 2 to 3. That's what Josh.
I watched that. Yeah.
So, and I have the police report, and they said there are, a vast majority of the entire store's inventory. And it's like, how is a vast majority of an entire Lego store's inventory 2 to 3 items on consignment or on layaway? And it's just like, they just didn't expect, I guess, us to have that, which obviously we did our research going into this case. Ben is probably equal to CoffeeZilla on his investigative journalism, despite the fact I know he's a troll. But once again, Ben only trolls bad guys, and you have to be completely guilty for this guy to go after you. If Ben's after you, you're screwed because he did something wrong. He doesn't like, I don't know. He just, that's the way he works. And we have read the police report months before I even did this video. I got the police report through Freedom of Information Act request. And it just, these guys just suck. You know, they did this on purpose. I mean, in my opinion, they did this on purpose. And it's like, regardless, to be this multinational corporation and to decide you're doing this, he's quirky, but the financials are public data.
Okay, so this is like how smart is Brandon? Did he intentionally use layaway to keep those sets in the building?
Goes in there.
So this is again my question with this, because sets obviously did move at some point. Like either like, you know, something seems to have been moved and disappeared or vanished or been sold. And I mean, it's possible stuff was sold while Crystal was in situ. And as Crystal herself has said, you know, and it wasn't marked properly in the months leading up to this. And she hadn't done the books correctly, or like there was, you know, that's a possibility. But I think the overall problem comes down to the fact that Crystal has at least fairly good documentation and photographs of the state of the store, and what's in it. We then hit the point where Brandon takes over. Well, there's nothing in it. It's all gone. There's no layaways. There's nothing else. Conflicting with, again, their own statements. And the problem, and this brings me back to, I wonder if there's something else going on here, where it is in their interest to kind of try and silence people, because the problem isn't the Legos. The problem isn't Brian's consignment. There is something else with this company going on, because that's it. That to me is the only thing that makes sense.
100%.
Any other sane company would pay out. So like, it could be that they're really fucking stubborn, but that seems unlikely. It seems much more likely that it's like, okay, well, if we admit that there's something going on with the contracts, and let's be clear about those contracts as well. They seem very clear that you can take consignments regardless of what the operating manuals say from corporate. It's in the contract. It's in black and white, quite literally. So the question is, like, what does this look like? The other element, just very quickly as well, which is kind of frustrating, endlessly frustrating me, is the point of sale system. The CEO talks about this point of sale system as existing. Another franchise owner was in my chat the other night and talked about this. I still need to talk to him, but it does exist. The expectation is to use it, but it seems like corporate doesn't necessarily fully enforce this. And in the first stream he was on, would seem to be saying that they're not that interested. Like they don't want
to show us.
They're not concerned about it.
They're not that rigorous about it, which seems insane. Like, I can't think of any major retail corporation I've ever come across that's like, do what you want with your point of sale. You know, we'll pick up.
Keep it in a notebook
later.
in the back. That's fine.
It just seems absolutely crazy. So the only reason to do that, if you've got that sort of position, is because it might benefit you in some way. Because if those books aren't correct, surely if everything's above board, that is going to be a problem for you. Like that's potentially missing stock. You're much easier to steal from. The reality is that if Crystal is keeping her own books and they're not enforcing it, Crystal could have, or any franchisee owner could, steal from BAM quite a lot and not mark down effectively what they're selling at. And could themselves be skinning off the top. So there's always like little elements where it's like, how are you running this company?
Any franchisee, including the corporate owners that come in to recover the store in that 4-month gap before somebody else takes it again. And then nobody knows what happens to any of the Lego.
So I wanted to address this chat. Does anyone know more about the Google spreadsheet and Google account from CoffeeZilla video? We have all of that. That stuff's been out circulating. We have the spreadsheet that Crystal put together that corporate says that they had. Now, Crystal says that the reason why corporate had it in September of 2024 is because they uploaded it into the like the file sharing or the email account or whatever that corporate required them to use. So they had access to that all along. And that's why it says that corporate had it in September of 2024, even though the takeover took place in November of 2024. So I don't know.
And go back and watch
the
that
questions.
video with Benjamin and Crystal because they talk about that spreadsheet.
I gotta edit that down because we talk about a lot of stuff. But when
Yeah.
it comes specifically to the brick and minifig issue and the reckless Ben issue and all that, I gotta edit that into a cohesive sort of narrative.
And also don't JP says don't forget the McNeffs took over Legally Mine. Look up what they do. It makes this drama actually make sense. It's all about getting rich quick.
Yeah,
that seems
like
to be
Sheldon was saying.
that
yeah.
seems to be the parent company. That seems to be the company that actually may or may not own bricks and minifigs.
But their MO is like hide all your stuff in multiple levels.
Yeah,
of
no, it's crooked.
LLCs
It's dirty. When
that's
those, like the more
Sheldon said it's crooked, or he wouldn't have even cared to go after it.
Sheldon, let me
It's
ask you
dirty.
this: what company, what LLC did you sue in your small claims action? What was the name of it?
Oh yeah, let me pull it up. It was
Salem Baker 1, I think.
No, it was hold up.
It's okay.
God damn it.
And by the way, somebody asked earlier, do the guys stockpile the Lego sets or they get them for each stream? Mostly
I go to the local brick and minifig and buy them for each stream.
David, stop. He does not. He does not.
Well, the last couple weeks we've been trying to stockpile a little bit because we knew we were going pretty hard on this one.
Yeah.
I just built
but
my last set. I got to get more.
I got 300.
It was Brick to Brick LLC.
Brick to brick LLC. Okay. And why is it that you guys chose, or you specifically for your lawsuit chose that one? What was it that made you think that was the correct LLC?
That's what the so they it was Brick to Brick LLC. That's what the court told us we should. That's what they said. They said that was the most recent LLC and that we were good to sue that one. They haven't renewed the LLC for that business in over a year, so it had been inactive. So the court told us we were good to sue that LLC, and that's why we assumed we were good. And yeah, that's they hadn't renewed. There was no active LLC for that location, I guess. So there was no other company name. We should have just sued Josh and Brandon personally, as we're doing now, which we're going to end up winning. But
so do you have an active lawsuit against Josh or Brandon?
Brandon, correct. Yes. I have an active, I'm going to get my 10 Brandon Renos, which are 10 Brandon bucks, 10,000 of them on his dime. And I actually owe Brian Mansell. Unfortunately, I'm 10 grand in debt on top of my other like 70 grand in debt. I have like a 400 credit score. And I owe Brian 10 grand.
Brian's not reporting you to the credit reporting services, are they?
No, the other people are though, but that's fine. I still got to get my buddy Brian is 10 Brandon Renos back. And my Brandon bucks are gonna really help Brian out because we bought his Legos off him. We got it publicly notarized, and I'm coming for my 10 Banderinos.
So where are you in your lawsuit? Have you served him?
Yes, Brandon has been served. I have mediation with him the 26th. I'm not allowed. I guess there's like strict non-disclosures, or else I would at least reenact it. But as we've seen, Brandon's a real talkative guy.
Use puppets. So I hear that works well.
Yeah, I mean Brandon. He's he's going to lose, in my opinion. I think.
Have you spoken with him personally, Brandon?
No, Brandon's never talked to any of us. He just, that's the funny thing from that video. I told Ben when I saw him and Brandon standing on the lawn and Ben just following him around for over an hour. That's an hour long. Was
that an hour long?
Yes. It was like an Adult Swim skit is what it reminded me of. But I'm going back. I'm bringing the Easter basket back, and we're going back to Brandon's house to ask for my 10 bands because he's going to owe it to me. He waited till the last minute to reply, so I thought we were just going to win by default. But yeah, I am suing Brandon for my Legos that he stole. I did buy him off Brian, and so now he actually owes me the Legos. But he sold them and stuff, so I'm going to get my 10 grand back. Hopefully mediation goes good and Brandon sees the error of his ways. But I'm thinking what'll probably happen is he's probably going to be a raging douche and then not give me my 10 grand. The other day.
Yeah, then you got to worry about the collection part of it, right?
Well,
Monkeys asked, and other people have asked if you're going to be suing the police department.
As you can see in that, hey everyone, let me read it to you guys.
Yeah, come on, vote.
Sheldon from the Lego video here. My friends Tyler, Sierra, and I are asking for your support as we prepare to pursue legal action arising from our encounter with the American Fork Police Department. After consulting with experienced civil rights counsel, it appears our rights were likely violated. A particular prominent civil rights attorney is in the process of being retained. Litigation is expensive. Your contributions will help cover legal fees, court costs, expert witnesses, investigation expenses, document and record retrieval, travel, and other costs associated with pursuing accountability and protecting our rights. All funds raised will be used to support these efforts and related expenses stemming from this incident. We appreciate everyone who has followed our stories, shared encouragement, and offered support. If you're able to contribute, no matter the amount, it will help us continue moving forward. Thank you for standing with us. Brick by brick.
Brick
by brick. Brick by brick.
I've got like two things here. So first, I saw one thing in chat, which was like, for Becca, I think he confused the timeline a bit on his previous stream. He said the store was taken over on November the 14th, 20 days after Crystal told corporate, when actually it was 6 days prior to the 8th. This is kind of like the timelining stuff I'm talking about, because that was also my impression from the first video that this happened very quickly. But in CoffeeZilla's video, like, it's October the 24th that the store in like the secret shopper stuff happens. So it seems Crystal told in October, like 20 days, and that's at least 20 days before the takeover rather than 6. And it seems, I'd have to go and check Ben's first video, but Crystal seems to give the impression that first video it was pretty much immediate, whereas actually it's like a month later. But that's just like, this is kind of like what I'm getting at with the timeline stuff. The other thing is, and this is just more of a personal interest one, you're suing Brandon Bast personally outside of the LLC. Now, when you guys took 10 grand and bought Lego from Brian, did you specify which sets you had bought off that list?
Yes, we have we have each our own individual sets we picked out and bought. There's a list Ben has. So I bought, there were a lot of money worth of Legos there, and I have in a rough draft, Ben explained which each ones he bought. But I bought 10 grand exactly worth of Legos off Brian's consignment, which the consignment agreement says they are his till they are sold. Sure. So those are now mine now that they've been sold to me. So
well, that's also like any, people are like, how is this legal and all this stuff? If you guys have ever owned or owed a credit card debt, and then all of a sudden Capital One is not suing you, but some collection company is, It's the exact same thing. You can assign debt and liability. And although they bought it for dollar, that's usually not how it happens. There's nothing unlawful about that.
But how does this? So, like, what's the? I guess because I don't know again, I'm not a lawyer. So, like, how does this work with the fact that you guys, like, everyone sort of, well, a few people now have these spreadsheets of what's sold, what was still in store, what's in layover. How is it like? How does that particular element work? Because what if, for example, one of the sets you bought from Brian had already been sold from the store, and is kind of like makes up this amount that is apparently being pre-sold and just wasn't paid out to Brian, which should have been.
Yeah, I mean, and if in that case, I'll get 9,000 Brandon Renos for Brian, and then I'll do the other 1,000.
I would say no. From a legal standpoint, again, you're buying the liability of it, because presumably if it was sold and Brian wasn't paid for it, then it's a liability. It's a debt essentially that Sheldon bought.
It just dawned on me, Sheldon. I don't know if you're aware.
As corporate said, corporate takes on all the liabilities of the consignment, as they said in the security footage. Okay. So, and they said, Josh has said he took over the store in the unredacted body cam footage. So when they took over, whatever debts they were owed to Brian, we bought. So they owe me that money. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, that's what they said, and I bought those sets off Brian. So
by the way, the longer unredacted portion of that security video is more damning than the one that was put in Ben's first video, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just Josh just being like, and Amon just being like, arrest these guys, you know, here's crimes they committed, like they're police. And it's very strange. And not to give the American Police Department any credit, they suck, but you've got what they look at as kids, you know, which to me is offensive. It's, you know, we're not children. In fact, once again, you know, I'm regarded as a really smart dude, not like bragging like that. I'm a disorganized idiot. As you can tell from the Lego thing I just tried building, you know what I mean? I'm not very organized and stuff. But you know, Ben is the smartest human being I've ever met in my life by leaps and bounds. He literally, when I met him, I'm like, bro, have you ever taken an IQ test? I'm like, dude, you like blow my mind with how smart you are. So to delegate him as a child, you know, is ridiculous. You know, he's one of the most brilliant creative types of our entire species history. And it's just, I don't know. So, but from their perspective, you've got this dumb skater kid and his friends from California, and you've got a CEO, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like the police should have done an actual investigation. And I guess I'm kind of just going on a tangent here, but you know, it's a pet peeve of mine. They keep calling us like kids and stuff. Cause it's like, I know for a fact, Ben's the smartest guy I've ever met in my entire life. And he just is unbelievably witty, as you can tell from, even if you look at the lawsuit, it's like turn and go home. It's just nonstop. He is just hammering you with the funniest, most witty things I've ever seen in my life, nonstop.
I will say that I think Ben is the smartest man in the room in this whole video, you know, or this whole series of videos.
100%
for sure.
That's where his whole, and it's funny because, you know, on other videos I've seen Ben, and this is something people have said in the comments. They're like, oh, I'm glad Ben can't act. Ben is such a good actor. It's scary. You guys will be amazed when he goes undercover. You would never know who he is, but he doesn't put on a facade for his videos. When the camera stops rolling, he's the same guy. And it's like, it's because he's not putting on a facade. Like to Ben, external stimuli doesn't even exist. He is just Ben. But if he has to go undercover for a role, he's going to kill it. He could be one of the best actors in Hollywood, probably possible, from what I've seen. And it's mind blowing. It's phenomenal. But once again, he's got a genius level IQ. If he were to be like, I'm going to pursue this science or anything, he'd kill it in that. But Ben cares about videos. You know, he's a creative type and he's just a creative genius. So to delegate him as this child and act like Amon McNeff because he's a CEO of a company that steals from old people is like above him was the cops' own fault because Ben had figured everything out. Once again, if you think, you know, in Lego Part 2, we had so many bits planned. And, you know, I went on my interview earlier and I said, you know, I had a really funny bit where I was going to convince Josh's wife. We had rebooted the show, which is a Mormon show in Salt Lake City called, it's called My Husband Isn't Gay. And it's a Mormon show about clearly gay men that, they're clearly gay. You know what I mean? They think men are
You're
hot.
going to try to convince Josh that his wife is going on a show?
No, I was going to convince his wife that he was on the show and we were rebooting it. My Husband Isn't Gay, which is a Mormon Salt Lake City based show on TLC. But Ben said it doesn't help us get the Legos back because Ben has the entire thing planned out of how are we going to get these Legos back. So, you know, this whole thing was planned out. And what he didn't expect was complete police corruption. Because who could anticipate that, right? Not even the world's smartest man could anticipate that the police would be like, we do things differently here. We're going to scare these guys. And it's just, I don't know. It's very interesting what we stumbled across because we not only stumbled across, you know, Lego corruption, but we stumbled across police corruption without a doubt, in my opinion, for sure.
Well, the most amazing thing is that you have contract disputes. You have UCC filings or what should have been UCC filings. You have First and Fourth Amendment violations. You have RICO, and not by the ones that are alleging it, but by the ones that are, you know, the ones that are alleging it are potentially perpetrating the RICO violation. It's just this case has like every level of law involved. It's. I mean, you have Bailey, Baylor. These are like historic common law things going back to the Roman Empire, which, you know, how products are sold and delivered. It's craziness. This case has everything. From a lawyer, it's really fascinating to look at. from someone who's not just sort of like stepping back and watching it. It's a crazy ass story where there's a lot of hands in the mix, and I think at the end of the day, BAM did absolutely the worst thing that they could have done to themselves.
And they're only, you know, we gave them the easy way or the hard way. And I've said this in my videos, you know, you've got the easy way, you chose hard way, which if Reckless Ben gives you the easy or the hard way, please choose the easy way. Do the right thing. And then
careful now. That sounds like a threat.
Well, you know, and lawyers even reviewed this. They accused us of extortion at that point, and Ben was right. Us catching you guys on illegal stuff is illegal on us, and it isn't. It is not extortion.
Well,
it was not a threat.
They literally tried to extort Brian and Ben and said, if you make an apology video or write an apology and you take down all the negative reviews and you post positive reviews, then we'll give you your Lego back.
Well,
in my assessment, that is extortion.
They had us sitting in the parking lot writing 5-star reviews. I'm calling everyone I know. I'm writing these 5-star reviews. You know, I switched it to a 1-star review that says, you know, this guy asked me he would give back stolen Legos that he had in his cabinet for Brian. And then, you know, I've apologized to Brian. I got really drunk and I'm like, we're going to get these Legos back. So I'm like, I tried talking Brian into, and he's like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing it. And I don't blame him. You know, after getting a taste, and, you know, Brian, we dealt with this for a week. Brian Mansell had dealt with Bricks and Minifigs bullshit for an entire fucking year, dude.
18 months.
After experiencing it firsthand, the gaslighting, the lying to the police, the saying we said threats that I know for a fact, I was there. Once again, I've said it in all my videos, Ben is like a human golden retriever, dude. He doesn't get mad. He doesn't hate anybody. He doesn't even get him threatening somebody with violence is like the most absurd notion to me, possible. There is no level of Ben being violent to anybody, much less threatening it, which I guess actually doing violence is worse than threatening it. But him saying even a swear word would absolutely blow my mind. There's not a single time he swore. All he says is dang. So to say he was saying bomb threats after we left, and I was there, and once again, you guys have seen, you know, it's not 100% exactly how the interaction went, but that's how content goes. But those are the highlights. He didn't clip anything to make them look any worse than they made themselves look. That is the truth. You know, there's just boring stuff he cuts out.
Yeah, I mean, lots of the interactions are interesting, and I agree with you. This is like the right way to cut a video. I think one of the stumbling blocks is the cutting of the videos and everything else, and like the way things are presented is highly entertaining. But now you're in a court, and now you're dealing with legal stuff, and now this is like shifted. So, but like it's like let's focus on like one particular point, because we talked about the extortion stuff. Ben is on the phone with, I think it's Josh, where Josh accuses him of stealing the Legos.
Correct.
So, and that seems to be under just timeline wise. So this is after they've done all the conversations about if you put up an apology video, if you take down the reviews,
everything they asked. Yeah. Everything.
So can you fill in kind of like the pieces around that call a little bit? I mean, how much, because that can be helpful, because I like that call seems to almost come out of nowhere in some respects.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is when Ben, so that's why I say we did trick him, right? So I wasn't there for that. So I drove all the way up there. We all said goodbye. It was raining. I went home. When Ben's on the phone with Josh, when he says, you're the one who stole the Legos, Ben is there with a different crew that he assembled to try and that's when they're serving all of our lawsuits. So I wasn't there for that. So that is in the correct order. You know, that was probably a month past, and they didn't realize that we had already, and that's why Ben does a flashback. They had thought the lawsuits were fake as well, which was the point of the video, right? We were like hitting them with all this nonsensical troll stuff, but Ben, once again, doesn't do a single action without a goal. So Ben wouldn't just troll. So that's why it's like, I guess calling him a troll, and no offense, is incorrect, because Ben would not have just trolled somebody if it, once again, you know, I'm more of a troll than he is. If I'm Eric Andre, he's Nathan Fielder, right? Like would
it be fair to say he uses troll tactics?
No, I think Ben outsmarts people. I don't think necessarily all these troll tactics. A troll just does shit because it's funny to mess with people. The entire thing Ben did was a purpose, right? He's like, I'm going to make them think all this stuff is fake. So when the real lawsuits come, they're going to think it's fake too. And they did. They thought it was just nonsense. You heard Josh on the phone be like, that isn't how the world works. But what he didn't know is that Ben is way smarter than them. So we
agree that there's like different levels of trolls. Like,
Ben
is not Johnny.
Yeah, I don't say it as an insult. I say it as kind of like so here's okay. So the reason I say troll is very simple. It's because if like the Ben style, well, I agree he's highly intelligent and does very, very good work, but his style is not CoffeeZilla's. He is not what like he's not doing his presentation and everything else is not the same, and treating his content as though it should fit into the bracket of CoffeeZilla's probably hurts him. Actually, it probably hurts him. Like a lot of the criticism that he is getting is from the perspective of people of trying to categorize him into the position of being like CoffeeZilla when that's not who he is. So it's easy. In some ways, it's easy to go, listen, if you look at his content, this is how he works. And you should understand him through that lens. And so I understand why you push back, but I really don't mean it as an insult. I think if anything, it just makes him easier to understand.
Well, I think, once again, Ben does nothing without a purpose. There's no just like, and that's where, and I understand Ben has even said, in the King Commander series, he's like trolling Russ's Facebook, and he's like claiming he hacked into it when he's just trolling Russ. So he trolls for sure, absolutely, but the guy always deserves it. Like, that's what I hate. It's like a guilty laugh.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I don't think trolling is a dirty. I don't treat that as a dirty word. It's like we're on the internet.
I consider myself a troll, but just not that successful of one.
Well, and you're right, Ben does troll, but it's like you have to be completely definitively guilty, right? Ben is not going to just go after some guy, like, once again, who works at like let's say someone's shopping at a grocery store, right? And you watch someone troll them. I'm like, that's annoying. Like, they're just trying to shop for food so they can survive. And it's like more of a guilty laugh. But when Ben does it, it's a guy who stole from old people, right? Or tortured people and made up a fake
I'd say like, look, this is a stylistic description, not a moral condemnation.
I was going to say, I think you guys are misconstruing the terminology troll in this one. Trolling, in my opinion, is a good thing. Dave's a great troll. I appreciate Dave's trolling ability. Sheldon, you're a great troll. I appreciate your trolling ability. Without a doubt, Ben trolled throughout those videos.
Yes,
and
he
did it immaculately. And it made me so happy to watch it happen in person.
Well, yeah, so I'll agree. I'm just saying, it's like, if you're going to compare him to CoffeeZilla, but I think if you had taken CoffeeZilla, and I love CoffeeZilla, I think he's next to Ben, the best investigative journalist on YouTube. But I think Ben is the best. I think Ben goes undercover in cults. He actually completely exposes the bad guys. He actually goes in and he trolls for good. And it's like, you deserve it if Ben's after you. He does not go after anyone who's not a bad guy. If Ben's after you, you did something so bad. You stole from old people. You tortured people. You run a cult that says, children should be abused. He does not go after random bad guys. Random people, it's like he did his investigative work on this. And it's like, if CoffeeZilla had hopped on this case, why didn't he? Why doesn't CoffeeZilla have a tip line because that's how Ben got involved. He has a tip line. And it's like no one, and that's the kind of the thing with this case, all the criticism. Well, where was Brian's $500,000 GoFundMe after this happened without Ben? It didn't exist. So there was no good ending for the Mansells without Ben's intervention. So whatever methods he used to get this going is irrelevant, because Brian, in the alternate universe where Ben didn't stop in, was just still dealing with the same shit we're dealing with right now. Lawsuits, bricks and minifigs lies. As you guys have all seen, as the audience has seen, it's all they do is lie. And it's like, we have corrected a wrong, and that's why it's like, it's super annoying. We got to deal with this RICO suit. They did something wrong and they got caught, and that's what they're mad about. This is their entire, entire life has been built.
Yeah, I mean,
around,
I agree with you when we're talking about corporate and indeed some of the stuff with American police. I think so. From my positioning, it's I think because I agree with your frustrations, because I've gone through a lot of this story. I've covered a huge amount of it, and I'm very much on Ben's side. And again, I'm a fan. I'm happy to say that I really enjoyed the McKinney Manor stuff. But I think it's one of those where this is obviously broke containment in a way that the McKinney Manor stuff didn't, where that any of Ben's former stuff hasn't. And like we were talking, you know, Valhalla's like, well, it's got international, it has. And so it's one of those things where, you know, many people's first exposure to Ben is this story.
I agree.
And so like, and it is serious.
It was mine.
Because
it was mine. I've never heard of him before.
You know, and it is serious. You are dealing with, you're not just dealing with kind of a little niche internet community. You're dealing with a major corporation and a police department. And that is obviously going to draw certain kinds of scrutiny, as it does with any story. And, you know, any of us who've dealt with anything that's kind of big, like with the Mr. Beast stuff years ago, or, you know, some stuff, you know, that happens every year, or Dr. Disrespect or whatever, where like you get these bigger stories that have much wider appeal. And you're obviously going to get much more opinions thrown in there. And I think that's reasonable that you're going to get those questions. And I think it's important to, I don't know, address them head on. And I think when we look at Ben's sort of previous work over the last several years, this has all kind of been leading up to this. So, you know, he's creating a lot of fans, but as you become kind of popular, you become well known, and you have that massive breakout thing, you're also going to get your detractors, because there are other people who are going to go, well, you know, yeah, sure, the corporation's bad, but look at what's happened to the franchisees, who are the, you know, in some ways are also victims. Yes, yes, some police officers may be bad, but maybe plenty of police officers are good. I mean, this story has also become a focal point. I've seen this, you know, regurgitated a few times. Wow, this is a display of police corruption. That has been a genuine narrative that has come out of this story. So it's not just, you know, it's almost a bit of a joke now, a bit of a meme to be like, well, the Lego story. It's not really the Lego story. It's the corporate corruption and police collusion story. And that is a totally different bracket. And it's going to draw some serious attention to itself from both sides, you know. So
Sheldon, are you aware of the Legally Mine and all that stuff now, that deep connection?
I've read into it. I think it's very strange. I'm also, once again, there's nothing short of violent crimes that Amon and his brother could commit that would surprise me as a person. You know, after witnessing the way this Lego company, and it's like we're going into a Lego company's headquarters, and this is you know, they said we made bomb threats.
It has nothing to do with corporate Lego out of Denmark. Please sponsor us.
It is, in fact, Bricks and Minifigs that we're meaning to say.
Please sponsor these guys, Lego. You know, you guys have an opportunity to be a hero right now and just condemn these bad guys.
Wanted to make that legal distinction.
Is Ben aware of the Lego? I don't think me and Ben aren't Lego guys. So I don't think he knew. It sounds like it's kind of like saying fish isn't fishes. You know what I mean? I don't know. That was a question in chat.
Oh, Lego versus Legos.
Yeah, but
a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not Lego guys. I mean, I built this thing. This thing's pretty sick.
I love it.
I don't think that's right,
dude.
Almost
I think Lego should sponsor me. But I'm gonna build the greatest Star Destroyer ever Star Wars.
Is this a TIE fighter? But okay.
No, I'm building a Star Destroyer.
Don't you shame him about Star Wars vocabulary.
I'm actually extraordinarily well versed in the lore of Star Wars, believe it or not. I've read thousands, well, probably not thousands, but I know all about Darth Vader's entire backstory and shit.
That was one of the questions, actually.
Stuff, right?
Huh?
You've done all the extended universe stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I love, dude. When Darth Vader gets like his full power for a minute, that shit is so hard, bro. Like, they did Darth Vader so dirty. Like we just needed one scene in Star Wars, Darth Vader going full power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've read some of the comics where he does the
It's now
he gets his limbs back and like fucking destroys Palpatine and shit. But
it's now lore.
Yeah, it's so fire. But yeah, I just know if you were to analyze Palpatine as a character, it'd be an Amon, but instead of having Sith lightning, as I've shown in my thumbnails, he'd have old man stealing money powers. I could just imagine like an old man picking up $1 and having it in its pocket, and then Amon showing up in the corner and just being like mine and shit, and they're just getting dragged around the concrete because the money can't come out of their pocket. You know what I mean? But no,
actually, so someone in the chat had a question for you earlier, and I forgot to ask you. What is your favorite Star Wars?
Like film?
Yeah, I'm assuming, or TV show. Anakin's really good.
I don't
Or
think
not
you can
Anakin.
say what is your favorite Star Wars. Like Star Wars is like a singular. That is
I agree.
you're complaining. You're saying Lego and Legos isn't right.
thought
You're
he
saying
did it
what's your favorite
ironically
Star
on
Wars.
purpose.
I was also curious.
that's
What was
my
your favorite
level of
World
trolling.
War? That's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
I was pretty devastated at what Disney did with it.
Most people
Anakin,
are.
not or
Yeah, I was like, what is
Andor.
this bullshit? I really, really, really wish we could have just got just one time Darth Vader being at full power, dude. Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one, bro. They did him dirty. Like, don't get me wrong, probably the prequels. I really like the prequels. Everyone hates on them. I think George Lucas was gonna make what's his name? The retarded fish guy was gonna be a
Jar Jar
Sith.
Binks. Yeah,
I
Jar
think
Jar Binks as a Sith makes so much sense.
Yeah, no,
it makes everything
fire.
make sense. Like it makes
It's
sense why
fire.
he'd vote in the Senate for Palpatine.
I know, it's fire.
Like there's a great scene where he basically jumps down from like a balcony with like perfect accuracy. There's like
I
a
know.
whole
And then
theory.
he's dodging all these attacks.
Yeah, it's basically the whole theory. I've heard the whole theory is that he's actually like his form and style is based on drunken martial arts, but he is actually a Sith. That was like the original intention, and George Lucas.
That would have been
chickened out of it.
fire.
That would have been so good, bro.
This is kind of, and we could categorize this to Ben's critics because everyone's a critic, but no one ever creates anything. So everyone just sat there and they ruined, they ruined that by being critics, and they're ruining Ben's video by being critics because everyone likes to sit there and type in their computer and be like,
one thing I haven't seen. People can poke holes in Ben's video and can say some things about him. I don't see anybody standing up and supporting BAM corporate.
I agree because there is no
Not a single
defending.
person.
Yeah, there is
stealing
no
from old
defending
people,
BAM.
right?
Not one.
We all hate stealing from old people.
I'll take that back. Daddy corporate defended them a little bit.
Well, and then he I like how and if you notice that post is now deleted because you realize probably how dumb it was. But yeah, it's just crazy. Everyone's a critic. That's another thing. Even on like the videos I've posted, I'll get random criticism about how much I suck. And it's like, I don't know. It's just
It's all algorithm feed, dude. It's all algorithm
Actually,
feed.
did we talk about your
David refresh the GoFundMe?
Did we talk about your first video yet? Has that been on the live stream?
Oh god, okay. I gotta hang on one thing.
Your first video, sir, is absolutely exquisite. It is by far one of the best things I've seen on YouTube. I love it.
No, we just
Dave
need a
loves
few
it.
dollars to get to 2,000.
What are we at?
Super close.
1973.
1973. We need $27 to get
Come on,
to 2,000 tonight.
$27.
My first video, I kept thinking, what's the funniest first video?
That's so funny, man.
And it was I'm quitting YouTube is my first video.
It was
and,
so funny.
Yeah, thank you so much. I thought it was the funniest first video to post.
So this is your first video.
Me and Dave have been talking about it for like 2 weeks. It's hilarious.
I'm quitting YouTube. It's I put all this work in this channel and I just got no views, no subscribers. So I'm quitting YouTube. It's hard. You start this channel, you post one video, and you get no views. I've never even posted a video. It's crazy. Here I am with the channel with no subscribers and no videos, and I'm already quitting. I'm quitting while I'm ahead. That's what you got to do. You gotta think about it and just realize, everyone.
I talk to is right. You know, everyone who's made it on here, they've just gotten lucky, and that's it. There's no skill involved, nothing. You just need to quit. Actually, everyone, don't even ever start. You just need to quit while you're ahead and never do anything.
Quit.
Yeah. So brave. Yeah. It's awesome. Anyways, I had to play a little bit of this. This is one of the okay. So speaking of trolls, this is absolutely a troll move, dude. It's awesome.
Yes,
it's absolutely awesome.
It's epic troll level.
Thank you.
S
Yeah.
tier.
My favorite comment from that is loser in all caps with 1 period after each letter.
I think I think you get videos like this. Like I've got quite a few videos. Like I don't know if you know a James Summerton story. He plagiarized people and then basically kept releasing terrible apology videos. The first video I actually ever recorded myself for my channel is me reading out his entire apology script, like the 45-minute transcript, like plagiarizing him as a joke, and then he actually deleted his video and people were using my video as a source for what he'd said. But like, you know, I think my favorite video is actually the one like people have hated the most on my channel. It's got like a 52% dislike ratio, and people were telling me to delete my channel. And then about 6 months later, I was completely validated and totally right. It's like videos like that are just the best ones to get. Like, so yeah, I think you've got probably a pretty good start at all of this, and you seem to have like, you know, one of the things that gets said is, you know, depending on what your start is like, most people have to go through being doxxed or being targeted like a couple of years into a YouTube career. But you're starting at the point where your social security numbers out there. You've been arrested by the police. You've got like a ton of like you're right in the center of things. You're like, it's probably, listen, anything else is going to be pretty easy to deal with, I imagine, after this point. And I mean, you had to spend an entire day living in your car in Florida, which, you know, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So after that, I think you're pretty much done, right? Pretty good.
Speaking of, don't pay someone to make your thumbnails. BJ said that she would help you out, or I'll help.
I know, but you don't understand. My thumbnail guy, I mean, we can pull up like when I AI it sucks, but like if I like come up with a video idea, I'm like, I need to do it right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm making money now. Finally, you know, I have like 300,000 views and I've made like $100 so far for YouTube because I just got monetized. But like, if you look at that one, the Bricks and Minifig Silence Ben, like that's my thumbnail guy. Like, look at the difference in quality. And that was a rush thumbnail. So the next one I got going on, like this one in the left corner, you know, behind the scenes, like I pulled that off Facebook. That video is really good. The investigated clavicular socks. But the Bricks and Minifigs of Silence Ben, that's my actual thumbnail guy, but it costs like $70 a thumbnail. But he's so good. I mean, I've even, you know, made thumbnails for Ben, which he didn't use through this guy. I've got one in back order for, you know, me and Ben's next project that he was like, holy shit, that's really good. So my thumbnail guy, like, I put him through the ringer. Like, you know, I only ever passed 8th grade. So my texting, like if you read my text, you'd be like, this guy's a complete moron. I don't know. I just put commas wherever. I don't know. I only put 8th grade. So
where you paused forming the sentence in your mind, you put a comma, right?
Yeah, I just put him wherever. I don't really care about grammar and stuff, but I put him through the ringer. So it does suck. I got to pay for thumbnails, but he is phenomenal. He's on Fiverr. I mean, even Ben, who's a professional YouTuber, has been like, holy shit. And the reason I'm so impressed with the guy with the thumbnail, and this is for me and Ben's next video. We already filmed it. It's getting edited by a professional editor. Subscribe for that. It's going to be absolutely break the internet. If you guys think the Lego video is crazy, our next project is insane. But when I'd hit up probably 15 different thumbnail designers and sent them what I wanted. And they said, there is no way we can do this. And this guy, and his name's Demchuck on Fiverr, he was like, I got you. And he made it. And it's like, it's so good. He is so good at making thumbnails. So it's like, I know she said she would do it for me, but like the shit I put this thumbnail guy through, like if you read my description of that thumbnail, Ben has been silenced by Bricks and Minifigs, you'd be like, what the fuck? And he figures it out every time. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, I guess I have loyalty to him, and it's fine. I mean, if she wants to try, I mean, I'll give her a shot. But like, he's probably the best in the fucking game. Like, the shit I text him, like for the thumbnail for me and Ben's next video, I sent him a meme, and I'm telling you, 15 different thumbnail guys said there's no way with the pictures you've sent me in this meme I can make this. And he's like, oh, I got you and shit. He's like some Ukrainian guy. So he's dealing with the war. So I like supporting him financially, and he's super good. Like, some of the thumbnails he has in his profile are so fire. Like, they're unbelievable. They're some of the best thumbnails I've ever seen. So that's why I like
the offers out to you. BJ made the offer a few times. I know she said on her channel. So I wanted to extend that to you.
Yeah, no, I've been told. I don't know how to get in contact with her. I mean, she's super awesome, dude. She's
Valhalla knows.
Let me fill you in, son. Let me fill you in, son.
Okay.
BJ, first of all, if she offers a service to you, take her up on it. Even if you don't use it, make the goddamn connection, you big dummy. Okay. Also, her email is on her the Star Witness page, either way, her link tree,
we'll get it to you.
Yeah, I'll get you her email. It's public information. We can do that.
Nice.
So we have a chat here that asked, did Ben do
up.
the audio and the music in the video? Did he like edit all that himself?
Yes.
And do you have any insight on the choice style of audio?
It's all Ben's decision. Ben is that good at editing to where he sits there and essentially BJC is awesome. Shout out her. She's fucking awesome. I saw her.
Super awesome.
Yeah,
she's my new best friend.
She's awesome, dude. I'd like to hop on a stream with her or something. That'd be sick.
This is my last Lego Law Life and Libations. BJ will be taking over for me from now on.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Fired us.
The problem is I get so many, and I didn't even know who she was until I got sent her stream where she keeps being like, let's get this guy out of Rockford, which meant a lot. So yeah, she's super cool.
As the guy that came from Rockford, get this man out of Rockford.
Yeah.
Hey, can we announce this real quick? We're over $2,000.
Yay, we did it. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, awesome.
Hell
Wow.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much, dude. That's crazy.
Tell
Thank
your
you,
friends,
Kayla.
everybody.
Thank David. Whoa. Wow, everybody.
Yeah, that's what I said. David Weller, dude. $800.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, dude. Unbelievable. We're gonna end up. I mean, so I can't really say like I said, I can't say, we're not suing them yet, but from everything I've talked to about prominent civil rights attorneys, also let's just be common sense about this. You can't tell someone they're under arrest and then arrest them to a police station in handcuffs, unhandcuff them, let them go without charges. But all they wanted was Ben, right? And that's what my entire interrogation was about, which I'm sure, and if you guys have watched through all the unredacted body cam footage, there was a minor involved who even got doxxed, and they told him, they're like, they didn't steal $200,000 of the Lego. This is crazy. These guys are lying to you. That's crazy. And it's like my whole interrogation, I'm just like, and I guess, I've read comments that civil rights attorneys were just screaming at me for talking so much. And it's like, yeah, I absolutely blabbed way too much. But all they wanted was to arrest Ben. And I left thinking like, at least they couldn't arrest one of my best friends. And then I found out he was in jail anyways, which I was pretty dumbfounded about. I still don't know how Ben was even charged in that scenario. I don't know. It's crazy.
Nobody
man.
does.
It's just like, yeah, I guess that's the whole internet's perspective, but they just wanted Ben so bad. They even lied, which we all have gone over. The cops are allowed to lie, but it's just like, I don't understand. I went over the police report. They were talking about charging Josh and Brandon with criminal crimes. And in my opinion,
the police can lie, but they still need probable cause in order to actually arrest you. And that's where they got hung up on. And that's where I think a lot of their issues are going to be. And they can lie, but they can't lie in an affidavit for a search warrant or an arrest warrant and say that they're actually going to search stuff and then don't search for stuff. So they can lie in certain circumstances, but they cannot violate constitutionally protected rights.
Well, exactly. No, and I knew, as I said, I mean, so you're a lawyer, huh?
I am.
Dave is, yeah.
I play one on YouTube.
So yeah, you play one on YouTube. So
also in the courtroom.
What should I have done when they asked for my phone? Because I mean, would you agree that it was a? So you're saying it wasn't a law? I shouldn't.
What you should have done is said, I do not consent to any searches or seizures.
Well, because I said when they Mirandized me and they said, "Do you want to speak?" I said, "No, that's not in the video." But you've seen the unredacted body cam.
We've seen the unredacted, yeah.
You've seen me say no, then, correct?
Yeah. No, I've watched that whole unredacted video.
The problem is if a cop says, "Hey, can I see your phone?" and you're like, "No," and he's like, "I really want to see it," and you hand it to him, that's the same thing as just giving him access.
Well,
if you
So
say
to
no,
be fair, Sheldon doesn't hand the phone over. They basically just grab it from you, right?
maybe, but that's a different problem that the cops have created.
They said, "We're gonna need your phone," which to me at that point was a lawful command. I mean, I know they can give lawful commands.
You were okay. So here's
you were intimidated by this officer.
You were being placed under arrest. So search incident to arrest, meaning like if a woman's carrying a purse, they're like, well, we don't want you to have your purse on you in the back of the car when you're handcuffed, so we're going to take this from you. That sort of thing is fine. If they are preserving it because they think it's evidence of a crime, they can do that in limited circumstances, but they have to have probable cause that there's actually a crime being committed.
But a phone, they need a Supreme Court warrant for, or a special kind of search warrant, am I correct? That was a Supreme Court
search
ruling.
the contents of it, yes. But they were just securing it, so it's.
But he went through it. He sat there and manipulated the device. He sat there.
Oh yeah. We saw that. Yeah. So that, I mean, I'm not saying what the cops did is good. I'm just trying to explain like the nuanced difference between, not a search incident to arrest or preserving something so that they can secure a warrant to go through it. There's all these weird, not weird. There's all these little technical things.
What I know is that they confiscated a terrorist's iPhone and they couldn't get through it, even the fucking FBI.
Oh, Valhalla's got some information about that. How many digits do you need, Valhalla?
So if you have a 4-digit lock code on your phone, it's a matter of hours before the modern technology can break your phone and get all the information off of it. If you have a 6-digit code, however, that could take months to a year or more for the feds to get into. So
I have a 6-digit code.
I have put a 6-digit code on every device that I own since learning that information, and I advise everybody else to do the exact same thing.
Well, and that's what. And once again, they were alleging, and this is untrue. This is an untrue allegation that Ben had paid me to be there. I was in it for the love of the game. I wanted to get Brian his Legos back, and I'm a ex-addict who lives in Rockford, so
obviously,
yeah. I mean,
I was talking to the chat, not to your comment. My bad. That was poor timing. My bad.
You're good.
My bad.
And they were alleging Ben had paid me, and this is what I've explained. Ben had just been bonded out by a guy who has essentially no money. My entire life savings was now put into bonding Ben out. And he had paid me back, of course. You know what I mean? And then they were saying Ben had paid me to be there. And this is 100% the truth. Ben has never paid me to do anything. I do it because he's my friend, and I believe in the videos. You know what I mean? And for them to say, Ben paid you to be here, we need to go through your phone. And then Ben have just paid me the day before, for bonding him out, repaid me, which was just a reimbursement. Ben has never paid me anything. And then them to say, we're going to go through your phone and go through these transactions with Ben, and then see these transactions and make it seem like, oh, he just paid you, whatever his bond was to be here when I was in charge of my own team is bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's also none of their business what I've texted my good friend. You know what I mean? Just because there was a leftover FaceTime call, which is what happened. They had me show them the GoFundMe, which I shouldn't even have done. But once again, I guess it's like I should have went pure, like, screw the police, I'm a criminal mode. But I'm doing a GoFundMe, dude. You know what I mean? I'm doing a GoFundMe for Brian. So it's like I'm not doing anything illegal. We had every right to be doing what we were doing beyond a
what-
reasonable doubt.
What did they actually say to you about putting up the banner itself? Because
They
it's
said
not
we weren't breaking any laws.
okay, and it is crazy to me they admitted this stuff to you, and I've seen the body cam and stuff, and it's like I'm wondering if they said anything additional to you about why they like. They're like, you're not breaking any laws, you're not doing anything. Like they seem to confess that they have no real, even probable cause.
Well,
I
then
think
still arrest you.
this is what I've seen and what I'm trying to think of, like what the grounds would have been. They had trespassed, or no, they had already arrested and charged Reckless Ben for stalking. And I think what they were trying to get at is Reckless Ben continue to stalk through agency, through having these people show up, even though he's not doing it himself directly, he's orchestrating it. I think that's what they were trying to get at for additional charges against Ben.
Absolutely. That's what they were trying.
But if
they were
that is the
incorrect.
situation, then again, Sheldon and everyone else is not violating any laws. So they can't be arrested, they can't be detained, and their phones can't be taken without a search warrant. Because it's the same thing with when they had an arrest warrant that turned into a search warrant, but then it was really just a search warrant, and then they used it to arrest everybody on scene. They get like a little bit of authority to do something, and then they just run wild with it. There's all kinds of violations going on in these videos.
So many. There's so many violations, man.
No,
yeah, they're like, well, we can do it this way.
But it's
they were basically trying to justify their
police, isn't it? I mean, it's
I mean that's really what it is.
You and I discussed on my stream, which is, I can see the claims of this is a Mormon conspiracy, but I mean, it's just as likely to be small town police protecting or overly protective of a known resident, where they're just like,
but they arrested a resident of the town.
Did they?
The kid that they hired,
the
to
Mormon
be a
kid.
Mormon.
Did they arrest him? They arrested him in the raid.
Mormon kid wasn't arrested. Tyler.
Yeah, they just turned him away, right?
Shout out Tyler's production. I think he's the next PewDiePie. He was with us through thick and thin. He got arrested in the raid, even though he didn't do anything. Shout out, Tyler's
get arrested. See,
Tyler got arrested.
He got arrested in the raid, but he wasn't arrested. He was arrested because he was in the raid. He wasn't arrested or charged.
Right, but that was an illegal arrest. You're not allowed to. I've been in raids before, and if you didn't do anything, you're not allowed to just take people to jail.
I've experienced my raid or two in the past, and I know these cops were not acting with authority.
No, I mean, it's like there was nothing to arrest everyone for.
Yeah,
and then they arrested.
All you do is you detain them.
That kid is the next PewDiePie. Mark my word.
If it's truly a search warrant, you detain them outside so that you can conduct your search, and then you move on. You don't take them down to the station
because you guys were taken in after that. Which
well,
is...
I was already in jail getting interrogated about a GoFundMe.
That's okay. That does clear something up actually, because that was going to be one of again we're talking about the timeline, which is a lot of my questions. So you were in jail, or at the station at the same time that raid was being conducted. So
yes,
right.
I got arrested, and then they told, and this is they basically were kidnapping. Thanks, chat. They arrested me for obstruction, which I didn't even get charged for. Then I was told I was detained. Meanwhile, the detective kept leaving the room, and I talked way too much. Never ever talked to the police that much, but I was doing two things in my brain. I'm like, I need to be able to have clippable things to the content because I'm not sure. Yeah, well, Tyler. Okay, shout out Tyler's production, dude. Next PewDiePie. But so my bad. I was reading chat. But so they interrogated me for probably 6 hours. I should have just shut up.
6 hours?
Yeah, it was so
over a trespass.
That is wild, actually.
Yeah, no, it was dark by the time I got out. Those guys had went through an entire SWAT, gotten taken to the police station, interrogated, and let out. Because by the time I got out, I was blowing up Ben, and then I started blowing up Tyler's production. He came and picked me up from the side of the road because I was homeless again in Utah because I had nowhere to go. Luckily, they gave me my phone back at least. Hey, Have you talked to me yet,
Sheldon did
Yeah, I'm in
mention
part 3. Part 3 is me.
he's part. Yep.
Okay, because that actually helps. Because I mean that again, this is sort of I don't think this is clear in the video, but that is crazy. So they arrest you and then go for the raid.
It's not just crazy; it's illegal.
I mean,
illegal.
Yeah, it's
that wasn't under arrest.
I mean, that just looks like they're sweeping you guys up, and they've got you at a separate location.
It's
so they're
unreasonable.
grabbing you.
They were trying to get evidence against Ben, which is pretty much. I mean, if you're going to interrogate me, I mean, normally I'd just ask for a lawyer. Please just do that. You know, I've been roasted online 100,000 times.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah,
always.
I had
You
my
don't say
phone.
anything to anyone about anything ever, except I would like my lawyer, please.
If
No,
you ever
normally-
get Mirandized,
What I was
that's
gonna
the
do-
only thing you should say after that. If you get Mirandized, you say, "I would like to speak to a lawyer, please."
Absolutely.
That's
Do
the-
not.
Period.
It's just you guys got to understand it from my perspective. I know how this kind of stuff works from being an ex-criminal, and I just thought, for one, I was trying to. Once again, I did interrogate the detective. It's even Hassan Piker said he's like, "Who's interrogating who?" Because I'm like, so can you delete something from an iPhone from a locked screen by hitting one button or an unlocked screen? And the detective agreed, and he used passive language. But I just thought it was, he used passive language, and he's like, I believe you wouldn't. But I was like, all right, now I've got a charge. So I'm going to get this detective to admit there's no way, because I'm like, all right, now I've got a trial coming up. So that clip would have pretty much admonished me in a criminal trial, I believe, if you showed that to a jury. But then I kept talking for like 20 minutes, but I was super nervous.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Well,
Nobody's blaming
and
you.
it was weird. I'm like, we did everything right to make sure this wasn't illegal. We had that lady's permission to put that sign up on the fence. There's security footage of my spy cameras, of my spy glasses, of me going up to her door, and they weren't recording because I'm really bad at using the spy glasses when we asked her permission, but there's footage of me asking her to borrow scissors to put up the sign. So we can prove we had her permission to be there.
Oh, she admitted on the unredacted that
Correct.
You were given permission by her.
Absolutely.
to put it up. And then the police were like, "Can we take it down?" And she's like, I don't care. It's not my sign." And that's when they took it down and put it in the cop car.
No, and they were.
And they even asked her, like, "Are you giving it back to them?" And the one cop was like, "Well, I don't know if we can or if we have to or whatever." They had no clue what they were doing.
No, that cop was one of the dumbest cops I've ever ran into. And as a career criminal, I've ran into a lot of cops, and it was just weird because now I'm on the sign of, and I don't mean, I guess, career criminal, but I guess any ex-recovered addict would tell you, they're an ex-criminal. I mean, that's what I did every day. You know what I mean? And, that's many years ago. But I was on the side of good this time, and now it's like the cops are against me, and it's like, are you guys serious? Like,
I promise you, the cops don't give a fuck what side you're on.
No, and I agree. It was just weird because it's like, I know. I mean, you've been in Rockford, bro. If we had hung up a sign with some neighbor's permission in Rockford, we would have got fucking bored waiting on the cops. They would have never shown up. They would have had gunshots to deal with. But we were in some bumfuck Mormon town where they had nothing better to do, I guess, than
Those are the worst towns. It's like Rambo. You don't go into the nice, quiet little towns.
Yeah.
No, and I agree. It's just like, but still, even with that in mind, we had every right to be doing what we were doing beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, I felt like I was in North Korea. You know what I mean? It's like, what country am I in?
Hella is in chat. She says that the metas are shit also. Yeah, I had metas and they were not reliable. They were a disaster to try to work with, and then they broke.
So head ass. I mean, meta glasses.
The glasses.
Do not use meta glasses, dude. They fucking are so. There was a guy at my work.
I'm gonna try the second generation. I don't know. I had the first generation. I'm gonna try.
Bro, they're so head ass. The spy glasses we use, even though they're cheap, like you can't even really tell. And it's funny because if you watch the unredacted body cam footage, Josh Johnson keeps saying they're wearing meta glasses, and it's like, we wouldn't use meta glasses. We're not that stupid
or that rich.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah, that's true. They are expensive.
All right, we're well, we met our goal, which was $2,000 for the fundraiser.
Yeah, hell yeah! Thank you, chat.
About that,
appreciate y'all.
I want to give Beckett, I guess Beckett and Sheldon, since they're both our guests. If you guys had any last comments or questions, we're gonna be shutting down the stream here pretty soon.
Let's let Beckett go first on this one. I think.
I guess my last one is like, yeah, it's a really interesting story. I think it's captured a lot of people. I can't wait to see more of it. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. I mean, it's also it's nice to get an excuse to come and talk to some of my friends in LawTube as well and talk about some of the legal sides of it. I do think that, you know, if people can clarify stuff, I think that'll help a lot. Because, you know, especially when we're getting this sort of lull, I think CoffeeZilla's video is really good as well. I personally want to see the books for the store as well. So it's those little things. But I mean, I think the main thing is like, yeah, Sheldon, I hope you do really well, generally speaking, after all this, because it's a good start. You seem like you genuinely care and passionate about doing this kind of content. And being a YouTuber. So I mean, I genuinely wish you luck, and hopefully, listen, as stuff goes on, if you want to sit down and have a chat with me as well, that could be really good. We can go over some more stuff as things develop. That could be cool.
Yeah, I'm down. That sounds sick.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna send you guys off with a 20-minute exit video now.
We love
I've
you.
got
Speaking
my-
of the trolling thing,
I think we've got all the redirects. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I have my redirect set up to go to Turtle Boy.
yeah, you're all going to Turtle Boy. Tell him we said hi. Go check him out if you guys don't know Turtle Boy. He's kind of the Reckless Ben of the Northeast.
Yes, he's the old school Reckless Ben.
He's
the
been
old
criminally
school-
charged with witness intimidation by simply
Yeah.
asking, "Hey, what really happened that night that police officer
Turtle Boy
died?"
stuff is absolutely crazy. It's really
Yeah.
good.
It's
I've
out
never
there.
covered
Check
it
it
before.
out.
I've watched quite a bit of it now. It's really good.
He's been on here.
Yeah, he's been on.
Sheldon,
We found Chloe.
any last words, comments, or statements?
Yeah, brick by brick, we're getting Brian his money and his Legos back, boys. We're doing it. It's been our whole goal this whole time, and Brian's getting his justice at any cost, even the cost of my money and Ben's. We're getting Brian his Legos back.
I love it. Sheldon and Beckett, hold on tight. The rest of you enjoy the song, and you're about to go to Turtle Boy. Go show him some love. We appreciate it.
Make sure you let him know where you came from.
Yes. See you guys.
Peace, chat. Love you.
Attorney in a suit and goats on the loose. Divorcee sipping wine like there's no excuse. With Lego bricks stacked in a colorful haze, they're building dreams while the questions blaze. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold. Attorney holds a file, but now it's a brick. The farmer speaks wisdom that's earthy and slick. The ex pours her tea while she laughs at the jokes. Behind the strange world, there's magic it evokes. Flashbacks to courtrooms and fields of green, to Cali love lost in Lego scenes. Strangers pour out their life on the screen, in the strangest show you've ever seen. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold. Flashbacks to courtrooms and fields of green, to Cali love lost in Lego scenes. Strangers pour out their life on the screen, in the strangest show you've ever seen. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold. Classic castles grow, but so do the stories. Tales of fame, past glory, and embarrassing stories. The goat farmer grins, says life's full of muck. The attorney replies, bet that's worth the buck. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces Voices get stirred from lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old. Interviewing life while their sets unfold.